And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we have some Uvalde video, and on the internet, you can find the entire hour and a half from when the police were inside the school. But there's a whole lot going on with a few segments of the video that we got to talk about. Also, did you guys see the super woke law professor from UC Berkeley testify before the Senate talking about, yes, men can't get pregnant? I mean, just ridiculous stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. I also posted a short video of San Francisco and the mess that kids got to walk through after they get off of school. They're getting off the regular city bus, walking through filth, drug addicts, just ridiculous nonsense. Talk about that in a minute. MSNBC actually posted a segment about how bad Joe Biden is doing, which is very surprising because they would never talk about him any kind of negative way. Even this piece was still kind of favorable to Joe Biden, but not quite. And it points to a greater issue. How do Democratic voters feel about their man Joe Biden and his performance? We'll talk about that. Also, shout out to Eric July and Rippaverse for smashing some fundraising records. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoyed what you heard so far, if you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If for some reason you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that as well. That'll help me out tremendously. And shout out to everyone who has visited any of my sponsors. And that's a great segue because you know how I do in the very beginning. I talk about the sponsors, then I get right into the nitty gritty. But shout out to me, of course, and my websites, ablmerch.com. You already know what it is, ablmerch.com. On that website, you're able to find hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more designed by yours truly. They're all on the website, ablmerch.com. Check it out. Links in the description. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. On there, you're able to find an article for each video that I produce. So whenever I put a video out and I'm talking on it, I will cite my sources for whatever I say in said video. I'll write an article. So you're never able to say, hey, man, you didn't cite your source. Give me a source. Fact check. Go ahead and fact check me. I dare you to fact check me and prove me wrong. I dare you. I don't post things that aren't true. If I don't know a thing, I'll say, you know what? I don't really know about that. If it's my opinion, you know it's my opinion, and that's it. And an opinion can't be right or wrong because it's your opinion. Just like I think that pineapple doesn't really go on pizza, but sometimes it does. Is that a right opinion or a wrong opinion? No, it's just my opinion. But anyway, AnthonyBLogan.com. Check me out right there. And also go to the contact page on that website to find my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that's right there. If you ever have the question, hey, ABO, is this you? Is this a fake account on Instagram? Just go to my website, and if it's not on the contact page, it's not me. And also, you can find my email address and my snail mail address. Shout out to you guys who have sent me things through the snail mail. I appreciate that 100%. I check it pretty often, so if you send me something, I probably didn't get it, and thank you for sending me things. And shout out to everybody that sends me emails. Don't spam me because you will get blocked, but I do get some good tips in the email, so thank y'all for that. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also go to BHEDesigns.com. They make these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can get ones that are identical to those or whatever you desire for yourself, friend, loved one, family member, whatever it is, on BHEDesigns.com. Tell them ABL sent you. Also, we have PatriotPost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on Al Gore's internets. Links for all these things will be in the description box below. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now that we're recording live. And sorry for the little bump. I had hit my knee on the desk and my knee is about to be pretty much out of commission. You know, I'm about to be 40 years old pretty soon, and them knees are no more good. But that was a big digression. To get back to it, this is a podcast you're listening to right now live. And if you want to hear this podcast audio only, it will be available at 8 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So this is Wednesday. So it'll be available on Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern. On a Saturday show, it'll be available 8 a.m. Sunday Eastern. On your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple iTunes, etc. Links will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. So we got quite a few things going on. Yes, shout out to Rippaverse. Shout out to Eric July. I might do a video about that, but I don't know a lot about that particular subject. So I don't want to say things that are wrong or, you know, put false information out there. All I know is that Eric July, you guys know who Eric July is. And since I'm already talking about it, I might as well just go and talk about it right now. And you guys can help me. I know a lot of you guys may know more about comics and that particular world. You may know about you may know more about Eric July and Rippaverse. So y'all educate me. This is the time we can interact. You can educate me about what's going on. If you want to call in later in about an hour or so when I take calls, we can talk about it there as well. But from what I know, Eric July, who is a YouTuber, and he's also on other, Facebook. I think it's on Instagram probably, but definitely Facebook. I've seen him there. A social media presence. He is really into the comic world, and he kind of got tired of. Oh, he's also on The Blaze as a contributor. Shout out to The Blaze. But he got tired of all the political stuff being inserted into comic books, making all the action heroes gay, just random weird stuff, woke stuff, unnecessary. You know, they're turning the comic book culture and a social justice warrior culture. And when I was a kid, I was really big into comics. And the reason why I stopped reading comics as an adult, I thought I got too old. It's just like wrestling. I used to watch wrestling religiously. I had all the t-shirts. I went to a live show in Norfolk. I was a big wrestling fan, but I stopped watching like in high school because I was like, man, I'm too old for that. Trying to be, it's a tough guy, but anyway, different story. I was a big comic fan. I had a collection. I had some of the, I remember when the Generation Next came out, I had the first issue of that. I used to go to the comic store and find old comics from the 70s and 80s and buy those. Like, I was a comic guy. I had them in sleeves. I had all kind of stuff. I wish I still had my collection, but unfortunately, I just, I go through things sometimes. One day, I threw them all away. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was going through, but I had quite a few comics. I had the comic where Wolverine had his bones altered. So Wolverine had the adamantium on his bones, right? And Magneto took it out. Magneto literally took the adamantium out. I had that comic right when it first came out. I bought it in the store. It was like 1993, 1994. It was like early 90s. I had that comic. I had it in the plastic, and I kept it for like 20 years and then threw it away for some reason. But yeah, I was a big, big, big comic nerd as a kid. Okay. And I appreciate the art form. So as somebody says, no, yeah, man, it happens. It happens. Okay. I had all of that. I had the wrestling, the comics. I was big into it. Big nerd, huge nerd. That was me. And I'm proud of it. So it's sad to see DC, Marvel, they're becoming very woke, or they've been woke for a while now. It's very sad to see. So Eric July, who is a YouTuber and also Facebook, etc., social media presence, also on The Blaze, political guy, a libertarian, not really conservative or liberal, but more kind of on the conservative side, in my opinion, but a self-proclaimed libertarian. He's like, you know what? I don't like the way this is going. Let's start something else. So what he did was put up his own money first. You see, the story that's out there is that he's raised like $1.2 million on a fundraiser to get Rippaverse, which is his comic book company, going. That's the story. But also he put up $200,000 out of his own money, $200,000 out of his own money to get the comic books printed. So rather than having everybody wait for the comics to be produced, he put his own money up, $200,000 of his own cash. So the fundraiser was make his money back. and also to produce more. So he put his own money up, gambled on himself, and the comics. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find the actual comic. Give me 1 second here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. But let's go ahead and, okay. So I think the goal was 100 grand for the fundraiser. Just 100 grand, you know. Well, I know it's a, you know, that's a lot of money, still 100 grand. But keep in mind, he put up 200 out of his own money. Out of his own personal pocket, he put up $200,000. But he was only asking for 100 grand on the fundraiser. And last I checked, it was at 1.2 million. He raised that in one day. And I think it's still going. So here is the article. Blaze TV contributor Eric July's Rippaverse comics puts woke Marvel and DC to shame with jaw-dropping sales. So that's the comic right there. I guess probably be their first comic they come out with. ISOM #1. And from what I saw, all the heroes in it are black. Now, some might try to say that's a problem, but I say this is the right way to go about it. See, what I don't like in comics, in movies, or anything like that is when they try to make something that was not black into a black thing. Okay, so basically, if they come up with a black Wolverine, it's like, why? Wolverine's already an established character. If you want a new black hero, make a new black hero. Don't take an established hero, an established character, and make them be something else. Don't make them have some kind of LGBTQ identity when that was never part of their identity before. Don't make them be transgender. Don't change their race. Don't change their gender. Keep them how they were. You can evolve them as a character, maybe a little bit, but keep them how they were. Okay? Just like with Black Panther. Okay, Black Panther is like in Africa, right? Some kind of fictional place in Africa. I don't want to see Bradley Cooper with a dread wig going talking about Wakanda forever. I don't want to see that. The same way I don't want to see Samuel L. Jackson wearing a blonde wig on the Viking ship talking about Valhalla. I don't want to see that. I just don't. If you want a black protagonist, antagonist, whatever it is, create a new one. So he did that. He did that, and he put his own money up. That's how you go about it. So shout out to my man Eric July. Hold on, do I have applause? Yeah. Shout out to Eric July. Put his own money up, did it his own way, started his own company, rather than begging, oh, please, Marvel, DC, we need more representation. Nah, you do it. You do it. If you want change, if you want things to be better, you do it. So yeah, this is it right here. So I think at one point they had raised like $950, but now it's gone a lot more than that. Okay, it's gone a lot more than that. And Eric July put a message out there. He says, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. We do not need the old guard. That's what this pre-order campaign highlights. Their model is archaic. We had no inorganic mega corporate push or placement. All the promo has been from our amazing corner of the internet. Parallel economy. Exactly. You build your following up. You market. You advertise. Have a good product. And put it out there to the public. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Now, I'm seeing some of the negative comments that he's getting. They don't have it right here in this particular article. And if I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But it's all kind of stuff. The typical stuff that you would get from a lot of white liberals. Uncle Tom, racist, Trump supporter, just, ridiculous stuff, right? And as a matter of fact, I think if you posted his fundraiser or anything about him or Rippaverse on Reddit, it would get banned. Hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. So, okay, comic book subreddit. Okay, here it is. Comic book subreddit bans Eric July's Rippaverse comics for, quote, supporting comics from hate groups. So that they're trying to call a black man, right? Eric July, he's black. The comic features black characters. He's a libertarian. So because he's not just a stone cold stomp down liberal who doesn't believe that a man can have a baby because that's not him, then They're calling them like part of a hate group or a racist or a white supremacist. Is that where we are nowadays? This is a lesson to anybody out there. It don't matter what color you are. This is how they operate over there on the left. They're very, 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 very racist. And I don't use that term lightly. Why would you ban him for supporting hate groups? What about his comic book is hateful? I'm failing to see the connection. The only thing they talk about is the fact that he's not a stone cold liberal. That's all that it is. Okay. So it's like, what's really going on? See, this is, you see the artwork right here. Okay. So, and the comic books subreddit has 2.5 million, what did it say? True believers. I guess that means followers. So you see the artwork right here. You see the characters, all black characters. And I have no problem with that. If you want your book to be all white characters, all black, all Martians, space aliens, I don't care what it is. It's your artwork. You do whatever you want to do with your artwork. Period. Point blank. I do not care. And if people like it, if it's good, it'll sell. And it doesn't matter who buys it. Like if I have a comic book and it's all black characters, I don't care who buys it. You could be whatever color you want it to be. You buy it, you like it, that's what it is. Okay. That's just really it. But this right here got banned from the subreddit because of supporting hate groups, I suppose. I just don't really understand. Okay, so Twitter user Uncapped Turtle shared a screenshot showing the subreddit banning July's promotional video for Rippaverse comics titled it "Welcome to the Rippaverse." Not only was the promotional video banned from the subreddit, but the user attempting to share it was also permanently banned. An error message on the post reads, "Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of our comic books. Moderators remove posts from feeds, etc., etc." That's just the basic reasoning. Let's watch some of this. I've not seen this trailer yet. Eric, please don't strike me, boss. I know you might be looking at the YouTubes and seeing who's streaming your stuff. Don't block me, boss. I'm just trying to promote you. I know you want to do that, but just keep a lookout. You know, it might be some automatic stuff going on. But let's watch it. Let's get a little bit of sound here.
I'm Eric July, founder, owner, and writer. Welcome to the Rippaverse.
All right. It's kind of a long video. It's like about 5 minutes, so I won't watch the entire thing. But of course, you can find it.
The Rippaverse is the result of a comic book lifer that wanted to be a part of the solution instead of always griping about the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, this was always a part of my aspirations. However, the current climate certainly sped things up. You've watched some of your favorite comic book characters be bastardized to the point to where they're completely unrecognizable. They're just used as career stepping stones for a lot of writers that don't care about the lore. Some even despise their fans. Those are people that just want to tell stories that represent their social political views, even if they don't make sense for the characters that they're writing. And of course, these mega corporations that control these properties don't exactly make it easy for you to get in and understand what's canon. So maybe it's time for something new. We are a comic book company first and foremost that will never be forgotten no matter how big this venture gets.
So I'm watching this video and I'm having a hard time seeing the hate. I'm having a hard time seeing anything negative. I'm just hearing him talk about some real stuff. It's like, hey, we complain about the comics, we complain about the corporations. How about we do something on our own and not rely upon the corporations and the old guard and all these things, all these roadblocks. Let's get around the roadblocks, do our own thing. So I'm failing to see the hate so far, a minute and 22 into the video. And as I said, I won't play the entire thing, but I'm gonna play a little bit more here to hear his message out.
And we are guided by a set of principles known as the Rippaverse ethic. You will find this on a page in every single book that we release, and it's a set of standards that we certainly want you to hold us to. There are three main things that we will always emphasize. Number one, respect the customer. We aren't owed your dollar, but we love to have you as longtime supporters. It's going to be up to us to keep you interested and invested. Now, anytime there's passion involved, there's gonna be those conflicts. But we'll respect you, so as long as you respect us, it's all about reciprocity. Our second point of emphasis is canon and continuity.
I don't see nothing wrong. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. Hold on, let me see. Ethnic background. Let's see where this is going.
Them will certainly have you as a customer. Your ethnic background or genetic makeup is wholly irrelevant to us.
Okay, it's hateful, but he says your ethnic background or genetic makeup is irrelevant. So, the whole trans thing, all of that, you black, white, Puerto Rican, Canadian stripe, it don't matter. See, the reason why they want to hate on Eric July and Rippaverse is because it doesn't follow what they want them to follow. It's not this woke LGBT affirming stuff. So yeah, I've not read comics in years, but I'm gonna support his campaign and I'm gonna buy his comics and I'm gonna read it. I've not read comics since I've been a very young man, a little mijo running around. But I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna support him just because I support his effort. I support his entrepreneurial spirit, putting his own money up to pay for the comics first before the campaign to fundraise. He put up $200,000 of his own money first to get the comic books printed, to get everything rocking and rolling. Then he did the fundraiser, from what I hear. If I'm wrong about that, y'all let me know in the comments. So yeah, I'm definitely in. That's right, Anthony McQuaid. I'm in for sure. So shout out to him. If you guys want to support him, it's Rippaverse, RIPPA verse, VERSE. Eric July. Go to his YouTube page, go to his Facebook page, tell him I sent you, and support him. If you want to read some comics, if you want to have some stuff that's not woke, that's not weird and crazy and influenced by big corporate Disney type stuff, go check him out. Go check him out. Like I said, I've not read comics in years. I'm gonna go check him out myself. All right. Shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. He said, supporting the stream, I'm supporting his comics too. Thanks for the information. Hey, no problem. It's all good, man. Thank you for your support. Yeah. So that's what I like, though. That's what I like. People that are solution oriented. You're not complaining. You're not crying. You just would, do things on your own. Just like when I came to YouTube and I was trying to find people that were like me, people that kind of shared my points of view. I wasn't really able to find that many people at the time when I came into YouTube, like 2014, 2015. So I was like, you know what? How about I be that guy? That's a big part of the reason why I'm here, is because I wanted to be the voice that I was looking for. And I figured that if I was trying to find that, then other people were as well. And I think I'm right. I think that I'm right about that, considering what we've been able to accomplish here. So yeah, shout out to everybody that supports Eric July, and shout out to Eric July himself. Shout out to all the writers over there. I think he's able to, I don't want to say he poached writers. I think writers left DC and maybe other places, and it went over to Eric July's company because they feel like this is a better place. If you're an artist, I'm an artist myself. I don't rap or nothing like that, but I was for a very long time a visual artist. As a matter of fact, when I was a young man, I drew a comic a little bit. I might have that somewhere. I might put it on the screen one day. Y'all, I might be surprised. I was the art director. I didn't even draw it, but that's a different story. Anyway, so I'm an artist myself, and one thing we want to do is have freedom. You want to have freedom to do what you want to do. Just like Dave Chappelle. Have you guys seen a new Dave Chappelle special on Netflix? It just came out like a couple days ago, where he went back to his old high school, if I'm not mistaken. And he was talking about how you got to have artistic freedom. Because remember, Dave Chappelle did this special called The Closer, which is like Emmy Award winning, if I'm not mistaken. And in The Closer, it was the trans jokes, right? And it got everybody in a tizzy, got everybody triggered and butthurt. But it's like, look, I'm a comic, I'm an artist, I got to have artistic freedom. You can't tell me what to say and what not to say. You can't dictate my speech. You can't dictate my art. That's not how it works. Art, you just put it out there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Okay? Like, I can't tell a guy like Basquiat, hey man, Basquiat, you can't be putting these scribbles and squaggles on paper and calling that art. You can call it art It's subjective. If I like it, I like it. If I want to buy this man's scribbles and scrabbles for $1 million a piece, then that's my prerogative. How can you say that I can't do that? How can you say that I can't appreciate that as art? You may not like it, but that's your opinion. I have my opinion as well. And I think that a lot of the critics are super woke and whatnot. They did not like Dave Chappelle's special, but the people, the general public, liked it. They appreciated it. And it shouldn't have been no controversy behind it, because if you transgender, so what? Okay, if you want to be treated as a regular person, you got to take jokes too. Okay, I'll take jokes, you take jokes, he'll take jokes, she'll take jokes, them will take jokes, point blank. Matter of fact, let me see if I could pull up the closer, Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes has become kind of a gauge of where we are as Americans, because it shows the gap between the quote unquote elites and the regular normies. You and I, we're regular normies. The elites, they call themselves elites, but a lot of times they're not even really elites. They just kind of, they feel like they are. You understand? They feel like they are. So, okay, here's the closer. Dave Chappelle's Netflix special. All right. And you know how Rotten Tomatoes works. They have critics that review it. You know, people that work for companies, or they have big names or whatever. I'm not sure what it takes to become an actual critic, but you got to go to college and get a job at New York Times or something and become a film critic. I'm not sure how that works. I've seen better people on YouTube reviewing movies than anybody that works in some of these big name organizations, but that's a different story, and I digress. Shout out to Chris Stuckman and people like that. But you see the reviews here. So it has a 40% rating out of 100 from the critics, right? But the audience, 95% approval rating. So there's a gap right there. Normally, in most movies, it's close. You know, it's not necessarily, it won't be the exact same, but it's close. 95% and 40%, that's a very big gap. That tells you that we're not really on the same page. The critics, they got to be working for these big companies, and they got to say things that are trans positive, LGBTQ positive, but the regular people that are out there, they just appreciate the art for what it is, regardless of who is supposedly, quote unquote, attacking. But I'll digress. Shout out to all the people that just enjoy what they enjoy and don't want all the woke stuff going on. And the weird part is that the woke stuff, they try to insert that into comics and movies, but it just makes it worse. It's not actually good. It's not actually enjoyable. You understand? Like, you could put some LGBT stuff in there if it's going to be funny. Just like with some of the old shows from the 80s and 90s, some of the sitcoms, they may put some LGBT stuff in there occasionally, or some kind of cross-dressy type stuff, and it might be funny. But the way they do it now, it's just like it's luxury and trying to indoctrinate you. It's brainwashing. And I've never really known brainwashing to be too entertaining, but that's just me. All right. But we got a whole lot to talk about tonight. Have you guys seen the litany of videos from Hunter Biden? I mean, hold on. Hunter Biden is not only a crackhead, but he's a crackhead that's like a cognizant Truman Show contestant or cast member. It's like he knows he's being recorded smoking crack. He's recording himself smoking crack, but it don't really matter. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna do what I do, and that's it. Here's a meme that kind of sums up Hunter Biden. Just very quickly. Here's a meme right here. Check it out. Hunter Biden, every time he buys crack in ladies of the night, I'll call it that because we got little kids watching. But if you can't see it, it's a guy with a helmet on who has a trillion cameras on it. I see a whole DSLR. I'm seeing some GoPro looking stuff. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras, 6. That's pretty much what he does. Every time this man wants to go get high, buy crack, smoke crack, whatever, he has to record it. It's like, sir, why? What's the purpose in doing that? But then, you know, you're asking these logical questions, right? You're asking questions like, hey, man, why would you record that? You're doing something illegal, sir. You're doing an illegal thing. Why would you record it? But then you got to just remember, okay, you're dealing with a crackhead, right? Crackheads are not logical people. They do things that don't make any sense. And that's just kind of what it is. So you're trying to get logic out of an illogical person. That's not That's not how it works at all. They're going to do things like that. Okay. And that's just kind of what that is. Kitty says, smoking crack with a selfie stick. Hilarious. That is hilarious. Exactly. 100% correct. Matter of fact, hold on. I got a video from IG. And shout out to all the people that make memes and everything else on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You guys are the real MVP. Shout out to Grand Old Memes. Shout out to Dumb A Photoshop. And I Donaldo. All you guys that make memes, you make the world much better to live. Okay, but here is a video I got to show you guys. Hold on. You guys can't see it, obviously, if you're listening to audio only. But the caption says, POV, you're Hunter Biden's crack pipe. And it's Hunter filming himself with the selfie camera. So you see it's like he's holding the phone in front of his face and he's filming his face for some reason, moving around.
It's the 10 crack commandment.
Okay, I can't play the music, but y'all hear what it is. It's like, what are you even doing? Why are you filming yourself going in circles and then you about to go outside? He's not saying the word. The sound is off, but he's not saying the word. So is he on FaceTime? Is he just recording himself? It's a crack moment. Point of view. You are Hunter Biden's crack pipe. This is what his crack pipe sees before it's time to go beam up to Scotty. That's what's going on with that. You got to ask yourself, what kind of father breeds this kind of child? And before you say, hey, man, sometimes your kids get wayward, what about Ashley? In that diary, he had a laptop that was crazy. Her diary is even more crazy. And we've seen this man, Joe, do crazy things, sniffing on kids. He's too old for that as well. 52 years old. He's almost as old as my parents. 52 years old. It's no excuse. You can't say, oh, he's a kid. He's a grown man. He could have a daughter that's like in her 30s or close to it, like 28, 29 years old. So I mean, that's the current president's son. What kind of father was he? Obviously, the apple did not fall far from the tree. It doesn't normally, and it didn't this time. I got more videos. Hold on. I got a lot of videos today I'll show you guys because I've been on the internet collecting them. So I got a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot of videos, but we're going to get to them. We got stuff from Joe Biden, stuff from Hunter, and I can't play all the Hunter videos. I saw 2 videos of Hunter smoking. I saw one video of him smoking crack. He was in the rehab facility. He was in this green pod pool looking thing. I'm not sure what this was, but there was water in there, and it was also kind of encapsulated thing, and it was green tinted. He was in there getting high, flicking that crack lighter, and then he was in a pool, and he went down the slide, and once he got off the slide and into the pool, he got out of the water, and he was doing something very inappropriate that I won't mention right here. And my question is, why record all this? Why are you recording yourself in the rehab facility smoking crack? Why are you recording yourself inside the pool doing something to yourself you shouldn't be doing on camera or in public in the middle of the daytime? Why? Crackheads do crackhead things. See, this is why. And you know what? This is a part of the reason why when drugs come up, I say, hey, man, you don't want to have legalized drugs. You don't want to have drugs in your community because you don't want all the crackhead activities happening right next door to you. I've lived in the crack community before. And it wasn't even like we moved to the crack community knowing it was like that. We moved to the place, and for a very long time, for the whole time we were there, for years, it was fine. Somebody might get shot occasionally at the basketball court, but for the most part, it was a nice little area out in Virginia, in Portsmouth, Virginia. We were out in Churchland, deep in like almost Suffolk. It was okay. But then what happened was they tore down some projects called Ida Barber in Portsmouth, and they gave them vouchers to come to communities all over the area Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, whatever. So they came to like the low income areas that weren't that bad. But when they came out there, it was like a pack of locusts had been released on us. We went from a relatively quiet area with the occasional fight and shooting to an animal house overnight. Overnight. I experienced black flight when that happened. People that could leave left, and everybody's black. I keep hearing about white flight this, white flight that. Have you ever experienced black flight? I have. We left. We had to leave and move to Chesapeake, 20 minutes away, because of what was happening right there in the community. You got fiends all in your neighborhood knocking on your door, middle of the night. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, they're banging on your door. Why banging on my door? I don't know you, sir. I don't have any crack for you. I don't have any money for you. What are you doing right here? And the story I told, I've said it a million times, but I'll tell it one more time, just to drive the crack point home and why guys like Hunter Biden are very problematic. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm here knocking. I'm kind of halfway asleep. I'm like, okay, am I dreaming? Is it a dope fiend ugging at my door? What's going on? I'm like, at the time, I'm like 13 years old. I'm 13, but I'm big. I'm like the same size I am right now, which is 6'3". I was like 6 foot back then and 200 pounds at 13. But anyway, I'm hearing her knocking, but I'm like, yo, I'm dreaming. That's not at my door. But we're in an apartment. It's small. I hear my mom move in the bed. I hear her move. Like, okay, she about to get up and go to the door. I got to get up because it could be a dope fiend. Who knows what's going to happen? And she go to the door, answer it, and they try to do something crazy. We get to the door. It's the police, and they open the door wide, and they say, hey, is that your car right there on a designated spot for your address? You're like, yeah. Some crackheads, they stole a car and crashed it and left it in the back of my mom's car. It was like the front end of the car was inside my mom's trunk. Totaled the car. And we were leaving from that apartment and going to Chesapeake, the Greenbrier, like any day at that point. We were kind of late because she had to close on the house, and it was a month late. So we were late moving. We would have been gone if not for the whole closing thing. We had to leave because of the crack stuff going on in our neighborhood. So when anybody says, hey, man, crack's not really a big deal, fentanyl, whatever, all right, live in the area where it's like prevalent, where people are on drugs and acting crazy, and you'll see. So the moral of the story is, if you're asking, hey, why would he go film himself playing with his thing in the pool? Understand that he's on crack and they do dumb things like that. But I digress. Let's get to some other videos. Nothing too crazy, but we got to show your man Joe. Joe, what's happening with him right now is that he is 100 years old. Okay. Joe was never necessarily the best politician, never the sharpest knife in the drawer. I wouldn't say Joe Biden was like your ideal politician ever. You know, he's been there since the 1970s. Like, Biden's been in office since before civil rights, or like the civil rights era, put it to you that way. 1973, he got in office in Delaware. I mean, come on, 1973. Can we get term limits? But anyway, he's been there for a long time, never was a great politician, but now he is just decrepit. He's old. He's a million years old. So now we're seeing things from him that just make you say, all right, this guy has lost it. We got a few videos, and then I'm going to get to another video of his wife getting us some hot water. So here we have Joe. And you got Jill right there. You got Kamala, who's also a nut. Joe Biden has an excuse as to why he's not speaking very well. He's old. He's 78 years old or 79. He's almost 80 years old. Put it to you that way. He's old. Jill is also not a spring chicken. Kamala Harris is just incompetent. They're all incompetent, but Joe is old and incompetent, so it's a double whammy. But here's a video right here. Hold on, let's get some sound. Pardon me.
Well, folks, you know, you don't have to stand every time I hear "Hail to the Chief," wonder where the hell is he? Took me a long while. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Turn around and where's the president?
Okay. All right. Here's the next one. So here is a kind of a gaffe when he was in Israel.
I will once more return to the hollow ground of Yad Vashem to honor 6 million Jewish lives were stolen in the genocide and continue, which we must do every day, continue to bear witness. To keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust, honor those we lost. I will once
to uphold the truth and honor of the Holocaust. Huh? The honor? Again, he's old. Here's another one. Oh, no, I don't want to. Hold on. Can I play this? I might not be able to play the sound. So here's Joe on the trail, on the bike trail in Delaware, doing what he does best. I'm going to turn the sound. Can I turn the sound on? Maybe I can. Let's go ahead and try it. And you know what he does? If it's a little girl that's like under the age of 6, you know what he does? So it's a photo op right here, taking the picture. Everything seems to be normal. And then what happens? Okay, now what are we doing here, Joe? What's this all about? What are we doing? Why is your nose in a little girl's hair? Huh? What are we talking about? What are we doing here? You can't help it. He cannot help it. We keep seeing this guy do this. We keep telling him that he's a creep for it, but he can't help it. These little kids are around him. Look, hide your kids, hide your wife. If you got little kids, do not let them around Joe Biden. He's going to sniff them. Little boys, little girls, or whatever. And you're wondering why Ashley is crazy, and you wonder why Hunter is crazy. It's not that hard to tell. Like, we could just put one and one together and still get two. It's an easy equation. We're not performing rocket science here, okay? We're not doing that. See, he was just fine right there, smiling, looking like the old man from Family Guy, okay, looking like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, chilling. But why go right there? It's because he's a creep. It's plain and simple. Ashley Biden said in her diary that her dad would get in the shower with her when she was way too old to be in the shower, like about to be preteen. Come on. Like we see what's going on with this guy. And people are starting to kind of they're getting irritated. They're getting irritated of Joe, not just because of the creep factor, not just because of his children acting crazy, recording themselves, smoking crack, getting high. Not only because of that, but because of his failed policies. I've seen several videos where you got Democrat voters regretting their decision. You know, they definitely are like, you know what, I wish I didn't do this. I want to go a different direction. I saw a video today where people were saying, I voted for Joe Biden. I'm a Democrat, but I'm going the other way because Republicans get things done, Democrats don't. I've seen that. Let me see if I can find that video right now. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's see if I can find that video right quick. The Biden supporters. Let me see. All right. I got to find that video right now. Oh, I got another one of Joe Biden where he's getting a little angry. He's getting triggered and upset, but hurt and everything else up under the sun. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can search for Democrat voters. That should work. I might not be able to find it right now. But here's a video of Biden talking about his approval rating, which is very low. Put it over there right quick. And let's get some sound. We got sound on deck. Okay, cool.
Joe Biden doesn't like tough questions. Just ask our stupid son of a bitch, Peter Doocy.
Oh, whoa, wait. Come on. Come on, Jesse.
Joe yells at him all the time, but he's not the only one. Joe got all worked up just a few moments ago when a reporter asked him about whether he would run again in 2024. Watch.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 90.
Look at this man, all on his face. Look at the pose, Jack. And when he says Jack, it's time to fight right there. You know, he about to go back to the 70s with corn pop. Listen here, Jack.
2% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
Now, he's right, but he's not addressing the issue. You already said, he was like, well, 92% of Democrats would vote for me if I ran. That wasn't the question, sir. The question was the majority of Democrats don't want you to run, okay? They want someone else. But if they had to vote for you, if they were forced to vote for you, they would, but they don't want you to. They would do that just because they had no other choice. But they don't want you, all right? They really don't. He's too old, though. I mean, really, it's kind of ridiculous, man. It's just kind of silly. It's kind of silly. But I'll move on away from Creepy Joe. The border is wide open. That's a problem, and it's not really being addressed enough. Here's a video I got today of the invasion happening, if you have not seen it. So here is a video. The caption says, Democrats have made Pennsylvania a safe haven for illegal immigration. Every state is a border state because of Joe Biden and Matt Cartwright's policies. Now, I think this is not Pennsylvania. I think it's Rio Grande. But I think that this guy, Jim, is running for Congress, Pennsylvania. This is the Rio Grande River, and you're seeing this big stream of people coming across. I mean, it's endless people. Look at this.
Yeah. All transmissions, make sure that they're getting. Yeah. Did you get the circuit in the round?
And hold on, I'll minimize it so you can see more of it. So you can see over there on the left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah, that
a lot of people.
are in the middle. Yeah.
And it's endless.
They're gonna keep.
Are they going to zoom in? But you see it over there. Endless coming across the river. And it's just like there's no stopping them. It's like nobody even really cares. And these people, they're not going to just vanish. They won't just, they're going to be in your community. They're going to be right where you are. And you have no idea what they got on them. I mean, this right here could be a bunch of fentanyl coming across, a bunch of guns coming across. Who knows? They talk about how they want to have gun control, right? Common sense gun control. Okay, that's what they say. So all they want to do is just put laws on the regular everyday citizen. Laws on the regular everyday citizen so they can't buy guns as easy. Or quote unquote as easy, which is not easy to buy a gun, really. They want to put laws on us. But look at the border. How are you going to have common sense gun control, but leave the border wide open, and you can have guns just float across that way? There's nobody checking them. They're going to be able to come into the country and go wherever they want to go. Drugs, guns, whatever. And a lot of times, these big convoys, if they are checked or stopped, that'll be a smokescreen. That'll be a distraction because the cartels will come in a different way in the dead of the night with all the drugs and the guns. You over here busy with these people. There's probably about 5,000 deep, but it'll be a few cartel guys coming across with all the stuff they want to come across with the money makers, with the drugs and the guns. We're flooded with fentanyl right now. As you know, fentanyl is the leading cause of death for all Americans aged 18 to 45. Male, female, black, white, Puerto Rican, Candy Stripe. Fentanyl is the leading cause of death for all people in America aged 18 to 45. I got a picture for you right quick. I got a chart, a little graph for you right quick. And this is going to be a pretty good one. And it shows how corrupt the government is, in my opinion. And this is part of the reason why you don't want to have big government. This is why I like the Roe v. Wade decision, because it reduces the power of the federal government. Abortion should be a states' rights issue, but people have been brainwashed into believing that it's a women's rights issue. We'll talk about women's rights and whatnot in just a short period of time here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. But here's the chart. It's kind of hard to see, but this is a chart of life expectancy versus health expenditure. Now I'll give you a little bit of help here. So you have going up. This chart, it says life expectancy. So it goes from 70 to 84 life expectancy. Okay. Then you have how much is spent on healthcare, and it says from 1970 to 2018. Right. So the years going from left to right, and you see where all these countries, these are like developed first world countries. You see where they start. All of them started kind of below the 70-year mark back in 1970. But then as time progresses and they spend more money, but not that much more money, it goes up and up and up. You have Israel, Spain, Italy, South Korea, Portugal, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Switzerland, Norway, Canada, Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, Germany, Ireland, Finland, UK. They all go up. They're not spending that much more on healthcare, right? But the United States, we're the red mark. We're going up. We were like at the same rate as them up until like the early 80s. And then something weird happened. We started to kind of move laterally a little bit. Almost laterally, not even really up. We're going up incrementally, but it's not a sharp rise up. We're spending a lot of money, more than anybody else, on healthcare, but we don't really have a high expectancy. We're like at about 78 years old versus 83, 84, 82 with other countries. We're spending a lot, but we're not living as long. Why? Because we're spending a bunch of money on drugs. We're over-medicated and overfed. A lot of Americans, they're way too fat, weighing a lot, and you got this whole body positive movement going on. Oh, you could be healthy at any size. I can't tell. Have you ever seen a morbidly obese elderly person that you haven't? You're not going to see morbidly obese elderly people. I'm not saying you got to look like Lou Ferrigno or some kind of top model, but you can't be 800 pounds at 94 years old. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't happen. You're going to be dead before that. Overfed, overmedicated. Fentanyl is a man-made drug. Did you know that? You can get that from a doctor. That's big pharma. So they're getting you hooked on the fentanyl. Then you get the border being wide open. You get more and more of the fentanyl. Now you got to have it. Now you got even more drugs, more food, more drugs, more food, more drugs, more food. Mentally altering drugs as well, not just pain management. So you're not going to have a high life expectancy. All they're doing is making it to where you can be on these drugs, and once you get to be elderly, you can kind of cope with life rather than thriving in life. So, and the border being wide open is not helping that. It's just making it worse. And I feel like at a certain point, Big Pharma and whatnot would like for the border to be wide open to fuel Americans' dependence on these drugs because they make them. So it'll be the next drug and the next drug and the next drug. Fentanyl's a big money maker. What's next? Oh, the vax. You see how that goes? Oh, and the food has things in it as well. Yeah, the foods are poisoned. One thing I heard about going overseas, people go to different countries and they eat their food and they think they're sick. But now you're not sick. You're going to the bathroom. You might have like diarrhea because you're eating real food. And the food that you eat normally, you probably won't even expel that for a couple of days. But you go overseas, it's different. You got to kind of go right away. Like I've been able to find decent food here, and I got a pretty regular bowel cycle. But a lot of guys and girls don't. They will hold it in for about 2 or 3 days without going. You go to Nigeria, or even you go to Europe somewhere, and you eating good food. It's not bad food. You're eating good food, but you are not used to eating what real food is. Okay, you got a whole bag of, I've seen somebody get a box of peanut butter jelly sandwiches from the store. A box of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. A box? Huh? We're not eating real food. That's a problem. Overconsumption, wrong consumption. It's an issue. But I guess the most important thing would be gender pronouns. He, him, they, their, them, zir. That's probably the most important thing. That's a great segue into my next video, which is of the law professor, Miss Khiara Bridges. Have you seen Miss Khiara Bridges, the law professor. I did a video on her today. She's a professor at UC Berkeley Law School, and she was at a Senate hearing for the post-Roe v. Wade world. So I'm not sure why that was a hearing, but they were trying to see the impact of Roe v. Wade and what it'll have on America in the future and the present, I suppose. If you ask me, it's going to be a good thing that Roe v. Wade is gone, because now you have more power to the states. People say that's a bad thing, but how is that a bad thing? If some Americans approve of abortion and some don't, wouldn't it make more sense to give Americans more power to deal with that on the state level? Because if I agree with abortion, but the federales don't, I might want to live in a place in the United States that does believe in it, and vice versa. Now, if you ask me, I say we should ban abortion, period. Federal, state, whatever. That's just my opinion, but we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there. I've not become king of North America quite yet, so we can't do it that way. We live in a place where you have a little bit more freedom to do certain things that I don't agree with. So make it be a state's issue. I live in a state where it's conservative Republican. We got good senators, good governor, good local people. I'm cool. Now, if I wanted to kill a baby at the point of birth, I go to California and live out there and pay their ridiculous taxes. Going broke in California, I do that. If I wanted to live in a place that I had no rights to guns, ammunition, you could kill a baby on demand at 9 months gestation, that's what I would do. But let me go and find this clip right quick from Miss Khiara Bridges, a UC Berkeley law professor who was at this Senate hearing talking about Roe v. Wade and things of that nature. And if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Okay, there was one video of her right there. Let's find some more. There's another one. And where's the main one? I got to find that one. And there we are. All right, let's go ahead and clean that up. And all right, perfect. Now, this is a grown woman, I suppose, but her argument is like a child. It's like a little kid. It's like a little kid negotiating your bedtime. It's crazy.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
It's very simple, right? If you're a person and you have the capacity for pregnancy, you're a woman. But why say that whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest, a pimp named Slickback? Just say something very simple, woman. But let's see what her response to that obvious, matter-of-fact statement is.
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups.
See, it's so weird because they want to call abortion a women's rights issue, but at the same time say you could be a man or a non-binary person and have a baby. They're double-sided. It's a woman. Pregnancy is strictly a woman's issue, period. It's only two ways you can be. It's only two different things. You're a male or a female. It's not hard. Okay, you want to call yourself non-binary. That's great. You can call yourself that. But either you're going to have a prostate exam or hysterectomy. Possibly. It ain't going to be like, well, okay, you have a prostate exam and you got some ovary issues going on. We're not at that point yet. We're not making hybrid humans where you could be both that way. You're not going to have both. It's just not male or female, man or woman.
Things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
Because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So you are
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom?
I mean, the eyes don't lie. Okay, the eyes, they tell no lies. You see, what I was always told is if you could see white at the top and the bottom of their eye, like outside their cornea, if you can see white at the top and the bottom, you got somebody that has some screws loose. All right, the screws are loose. Look at this serial killer. If I see that in a dark alley, I'm fearing for my life. I'm calling the police. If I got a weapon, if I got a stick or a rock, I'm using that right there because that's scary. That's nightmare fuel. Okay, if I saw that in a Halloween haunted house, I'm gonna urinate right there. I'm gonna be scared beyond scared. You understand? I mean, this is a law professor, and this is a UC Berkeley law professor. So you sending your kids to be taught by her, okay, in college. If this is who's teaching your kids, what's she going to produce for her student class? What's going to be the outcome of that? And if you're a conservative person at all in her class, how would you be treated?
Are students allowed to question you,
Absolutely.
or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just in this
know,
exchange.
absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Oh boy, I mean, these people. I mean, it's like, where do you find them? Everywhere, academia, all over the place. It's not even uncommon to find a person like that. This is just what it is. It's not even the race thing either. This is black, white, Puerto Rican candy stripe. Okay, I've seen more white liberals like that because there's just more white people in America, by the numbers. But this is a thing this is a virus that affects all of these kind of people in academia and everywhere else.
And do you think a baby that is delivered alive has value?
Yes.
It took forever to answer the question. His question was very simple. Do you think a baby that has been born has value, basically? She paused and thought about it and then answered yes. But now let's see what the answer to the next question is.
Do you think that a baby that is not yet born has value?
I believe that a person with a capacity for pregnancy has value. They have intelligence. They have agency. They have
I'm talking
dignity.
about the baby.
And I'm talking about the person with the capacity for pregnancy.
You're not in.
So basically, he's saying, hey, well, how about the unborn baby? You say that a born baby has value. What about the unborn baby? She's like, well, how about the person that's pregnant? They have value. So basically, you're saying the unborn baby is irrelevant because it's not even, it's nothing at this point. So baby could be 9 months gestation, kicking and hollering, doing a cha-cha slide, the boogaloo, all that kind of stuff inside the womb every day, but they have no value. It's not really a baby until it's born. Oh, okay.
Answering the question I'm asking.
I'm answering a more interesting question to me.
Do you think that the baby that is not yet born, let's say the day before the mother delivers, do you think that baby has value?
I think that the person with the capacity for pregnancy has value, and they should have the ability to control what happens to their lives.
Well,
somebody said Momo 2.0. You guys are hilarious. Shout out to the comment section. Y'all call her Momo. y'all are crazy. Shout out to y'all for that one. Okay, now here was the craziest one that I saw of her talking about Texas and their voting laws making it hard for people to vote.
Senator Lee, Senator Cruz have talked about, this decision just returned, this Dobbs decision just returned to the elected representatives of states and people can battle it out in these laboratories of democracy as to whether they want to protect fetal life over the interest of the pregnant person.
Fetal life? So, I mean, you're saying the right words, life. So if you abort a baby, you're killing a life. So isn't that illegal in the U.S. of A? Or does the fetus not have personhood? At what point is a quote unquote fetus considered an actual baby? When it's born?
These are the same states that are stopping people from voting. Texas has the most restrictive voting laws on the books. Texas's SB 8 doesn't represent the will of the majority of Texans. Texas SB 8 represents the will of the majority of Texans that were able to vote. So in order for this to be a democracy, we have to protect voting rights. And I leave it to everyone in this room, as well as the rest of Congress, to protect voting rights so that we can be a real democracy.
So here's my question. How does Texas restrict people from being able to vote? How do they do that? And they'll say things like, they just throw things out there like that, but they won't really explain themselves. They won't tell you exactly how the laws impact somebody, how they stop from being able to vote. Same thing about Georgia. They say, the Georgia laws will prevent people from being able to vote. It's going to be very restrictive. You can't vote. Remember, Major League Baseball moved the All-Star game to Denver from Atlanta because of the voting thing. Even though Colorado has more voting restrictions than Georgia does. But anyway, they can't really answer the question. It's a political talking point. Once you get them down to answering that question, they refuse to answer like you just did. Oh, I don't want to answer that. I'll answer this, because they can't answer it because there is no answer. In Georgia, they passed the voting restrictions, or whatever you want to call it, voter integrity, basically making elections safe and secure. And you had a record turnout after that. So if the voting laws were restrictive, how do you have a record turnout after that? So they don't want to talk about Georgia. They ignored Georgia, but talk about Texas because there's no data available yet, from what I know. But it's not difficult to come up with an ID. Who says it's hard to produce an ID? Why is that difficult? I don't really understand. You can come to the country illegally with no documentation at all. You can say, my name is Jesus. Be like, all right, come on in. But to go vote, you could just, it's so weird. It's so weird. They want lawlessness and chaos at the end of the day. A nice lady, yeah, not very nice. Not very nice at all. Imagine that being your professor and you're coming in with any kind of conservative viewpoints at all. Imagine how it's going to be. How you going to be treated in the classroom? Not very well, I would suppose. Man, I couldn't imagine having a teacher that's like biased against you. That'd be terrible. I've not had that in my life, but I can imagine it'll be a pretty bad thing to deal with. All right. Now, okay, let's talk about Uvalde right quick. Now, have you guys seen the video from Uvalde? I'm gonna put it on my on the screen right quick, and there's a full video from inside of the school, but I've seen some of that, but I've not watched the entire thing. It was a lot going on. It was really hard to tell what was happening totally, but I'm gonna play the video right here that got a lot of people upset, or we're just kind of concerned, like what's going on. Now, before I play this, I just want to say that I don't think that all of the officers involved were doing the wrong thing. I think that this one guy is just questionable. Like, what is he doing? So I don't want it to be an anti-police, anti-cop thing, because I'm not even about that. I'm very pro-police, 100%. But this guy right here, I want to know why he was doing what he did. Okay, I want to know why. I want answers. Like, this whole thing from top to bottom was handled very poorly. They did not get out in front of this video being released by the media, which it was going to get out sooner or later. They may as well put it out themselves and explain what was going on rather than let the media get a hold of it and we just figure out what's happening on our own. That ain't what you want to do. But anyway, and then the way that it was handled inside, as far as being able to go in, getting the shooter it was just very bad from top to bottom. This should be a lesson on what not to do during an active shooting situation at a school or anywhere else for any other police going forward. But here's the officer, and he goes to the hand sanitizer station, gets a big squirt of some hand sanitizer, rubs it on his hands inside the school where they're getting ready to go and bust into the door. Now, you have officers that are like up in like by the classroom. They're ready to go in, but I'm not really sure why they're not going in. Maybe that was an order. You have other guys that are down the hall and around the corner. I'm not sure what their purpose is. Okay. But this guy gets a squirt of some hand sanitizer, rubs it on his hands. And then 20 minutes later, they still have not gone in. And the same guy that got the hand sanitizers on his phone now, what he's doing on his phone, I have no idea. Okay. So at this point, they go into the classroom and kill the gunman. But they say this is 77 minutes later after they go into the school. So after the first, I guess, response, it took them an hour and some change to go in there and kill the gunman. A lot of things are done wrong in this. Leadership lapses, all kind of stuff was happening. It was a whole lot going on. Some officers wanted to go in, and they were prevented from being able to do so. Some guys, I guess, had to get their hands clean first. It was just a whole lot going on. See right here? See this guy? There's a guy right here. We see the guy on the phone in the bottom left-hand corner. They got the hand sanitizer earlier. We see him. But there's a guy right here in a black shirt. Now, what I read is that the guy in the black shirt is holding back this guy in the green in a police outfit from going into one of the classrooms where I think his daughter might have been, his daughter or his wife or something like that. He's telling them, don't do it. So it's like, it's just bad. They're waiting on the orders. The orders didn't get there in enough time, or I don't know exactly what happened. I've not really been following this story that closely, but what I do know is that this was just handled very poorly. Okay. Now, it's a lot going on. It wasn't anything going on as far as going into the most important thing that should have been happening was not happening. I agree with you there, but there is a lot going on in this clip. It was just so much. So yeah, that's the whole Uvalde thing. Now, as I said, there's a whole video. It was like an hour and some change that got leaked, quote unquote, to the internet, to the media. You can find that probably on YouTube. It's just terrible. The police, or I'm not sure who it was, they were saying, the media, you guys are terrible for leaking the video. But somebody that was at the city council or city hall was like, hey, don't call them weak. I mean, you guys should have done better. And that's just what it is. But again, I'm not trying to make it be an anti-police thing. I just think that there were some mistakes made here. And I think the lesson here, the takeaway here is become armed, because the police can't really protect you. Because even if the police get there in time and they breach the room and they get the gunman, you already got people that have been shot, maybe even killed in a very short period of time. The police cannot protect you. Not really. They can sometimes, but for the most part, protect yourself. And if you're in the school, I would want to have somebody be right there close to be able to handle the situation. An SRO or something like that can handle the situation. Not having to call police somewhere far away or not necessarily right there to be able to handle the situation. And if you are a school teacher, you feel comfortable having arms, you should be able to have an arm, have a weapon as well. But that could be kind of sticky because you got some weird teachers. It's just a whole mess, man. It's a mess. I think the solution to these kind of things is to have better security protocols, doors that lock, cameras everywhere, SROs. Secure it properly. Don't just leave things to chance. Don't be leaving doors open. None of that type of stuff should be going on. If a door is open, if it's like propped open, there should be an alarm that goes off. Have the alarm go off, because that shouldn't be going on. In the morning, leave the door open when the kids come to school. And then beyond that, if the door is open at all, alarm goes off. That's just what it is. But yeah, There's an hour and a half of video that was released. That right there was just a little snippet. That was just a preview that highlighted some moments with the guy getting the sanitizer beat on his phone. But there's much more video than that available on YouTube and anywhere else on the internet. All right. OT says, hey, ABL, as you know, Joe Biden is in Israel today. Do you know where his next stop or visit to the Middle East? Your thoughts, please. Man, I miss Trump. Now, I think Biden went to Saudi, or he's going to go to Saudi. I believe that's what I heard. He's going to Saudi Arabia because of the whole the oil and gas thing. I'm not sure why he's going there. The solution would be we need to have more American production. But see, he doesn't want to produce more in America because of the environmentalists that are against Keystone XL and having new oil and gas pipeline leases and drilling and things of that nature. He doesn't want that. So rather than doing things here in America where we have the capacity to do it, he wants to do it overseas and bring it over here. The problem with that is they're at capacity overseas. They could do a little bit more in Saudi, perhaps, but we need to do more here. And that's just the bottom line. We're not meeting the demand for fuel. So if the demand is very high and the supply is low, that's the most basic supply and demand law there is. The price is going to go higher. That's just, if everybody's able to afford it at a certain price, raise the price up so it becomes less affordable, therefore preserving the supply. You're going to have whatever you buy on the shelf is going to go up. Whatever you do, you want to get on a bus, a plane, a train, automobile, is all going to go up. You want to do anything in this country that costs, you're going to have to pay a higher price. It affects everything. Everything. Even things that don't necessarily require fuel or petroleum products to function will cost more, because people that work there, people that produce the thing, people that service the thing gotta have higher, they gotta pay their higher bills. So you're paying for that as well. It's a crazy world we live in, for sure. It's a crazy world we live in. Jericho Green says, nothing but truth here. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. I can't do nothing but tell the truth. I can't lie to you. Yeah, but the Saudis have no more oil for Mr. Biden. They have no more. They have more they could produce, but not enough to make up for the demand that we're not producing. He wants to go over there and make them produce for us when we don't produce for ourselves. That's not how it works. You got to do something for yourself and then have others work with you. You can't just rely upon somebody else to do everything for you. It's like having a group project where you don't participate until the end and still want to act like you did something. No. It's not like that in the real world. If you want something from this, you got to put in on it. And that's just the long and short of that. All right. So, all right. What else we got going on? Did I get to everything I wanted to get to? Uvalde, the woke law professor. Oh, San Fran. Now, this is part of the reason, again, why I don't like drugs. And people, when I make anti-drug videos, I kind of get ratioed a little bit. People don't like it. Oh, man, it's just drugs. You can do whatever you want to your body. It's like the abortion argument, But I've lived in these kind of areas. I've been in these areas where the drugs are so rampant. I know kind of what it is. I know what it is. Now, let's go to this video right quick of a drug-infested area in San Fran, and you're going to see little kids getting off of this public, this bus right into the mix. It's a little bit of cussing, so please pardon it. If you got little kids, cover their ears. And I'm going to address something as well that I saw in the video that you guys saw as well, but that wasn't really the problem. So there were some things in this video that people noticed that wasn't actually the problem. Okay, but I'm going to address that. So you got this guy who's filming himself and then also filming kids getting off of a regular bus, a city bus, come home from school. They're riding a regular bus trying to walk home.
Hey, bye, kids. Y'all get home safe, okay? Y'all get home safe.
Now, you got these little kids doing these little signs and stuff, like they waving a gun, but that's not even the problem. I promise not the problem, because look at where they living. It's like, okay, you're worried about these kids waving the gun, but look at where they live. Like, that's not even, I mean, that's not the actual problem. And then really what happened was one kid did it, so two of the kids copied him.
My little partner's out here. Get home safe, all right?
See that right there? That's, you will understand why they would do something like that or do that gesture because of where they live in.
I'm sorry y'all gotta be going through see all this shit. Okay? Get home safe.
So a little kid just said what he said. He said, get home safe. He said, get home safe too. Little kids, when they see stuff like that, they copy it. They copy things like that. So if a little kid will copy him, copy the other kid doing the gun gesture, if they see that, what do you think they're going to be doing? What do you think their mindset is if they get off the school bus and they got to go through this?
They gotta walk through this shit. Come on, man.
Look at this. Drug addicts, trash, all over the place. Right off of the school bus. Or not school bus, public bus. Again, they leaving school, trying to walk home through that.
These little kids gotta walk through this shit. This shit is crazy.
So yeah, this is what they got to go through. This is Nancy Pelosi's district, San Francisco. Little kids get off the school bus or the regular bus, walking home and going through a completely drug-infested area. People on the ground, shooting up drugs.
Hey, bye, kids. Y'all get home safe, okay? Y'all get home safe. My little partner's out here. Get home safe, all right? I'm sorry y'all gotta be going through see all this shit. Okay? Get home
So
safe.
one more time, so you can see what I'm talking about. So imagine this is your reality. You got to walk through this. This is what I'm talking about with drugs. When you would just allow drugs to happen, when you just say, like, if you legalize drugs in the place, this is the result. Drugs are essentially legal in California. Essentially, I'm not saying they're 100% legal. Don't get that twisted. You would still get busted for trying to, move 1 million pounds of meth. But this is, if you allow users to just shoot up their drugs, do whatever they want to do, this is the result. Matter of fact, I got a video coming tomorrow about Starbucks. Starbucks are closing stores across the country because of stuff like this. They're outside doing that kind of stuff. But if there's a Starbucks right around the corner and they want to go in the bathroom and shoot up their drugs, what's going to happen? You're going to have needles on. And it's like, you got regular normies that go to the bathroom and clean up these bathrooms. You got some 16-year-old getting paid, $12 an hour to go clean up some dope fiend's needles. They're not, you got to bring in some kind of hazmat team or something. You can't pick up no needle on the ground that somebody been shooting fentanyl in it. You can't, come on, what are you doing? This right here is the result of a lax on drugs, lax on crime, lax on just, if you listen to Gavin Newsom, he'll say that's freedom. He said, it's freedom right here. You could do whatever you want. You got freedom to be a dope fiend in public and shoot up your drugs and buy drugs in open air markets. You could do that in California, but you can't have a gun. You can't have affordable living. And the more you have the widening between the rich and the poor with all these taxes and inflation and whatnot in the country, and in California especially, when you have that going on, you're going to have more of this. You're going to have more of that. And if you allow it to happen, they will travel to San Francisco, where that's at right there, Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland, just to be in the street and be a dope fiend. I was watching the video today, and it was an interview with a woman that's a crack addict in Los Angeles. And she says, I live out here because I want to. I could go home to my family, but I don't want to be around them getting high. I want to be out here getting high. I don't want to steal from them. I don't want to be a burden on them. I want to be out here. That's how they operate. They go to a sunny area, doesn't rain too much. They get all kind of benefits, all kind of money. You got these stupid tech people that give them money on the streets. I never give a homeless person 1 red cent out of my pocket ever, because 9 times out of 10, they're a dope fiend or a drunk or a combination of both, and they want to take your money and go get high. I refuse. If you look like you're kind of hungry, something like that, you want some food, all right, here's a sandwich, sir. Take this Big Mac and carry your hind parts over there. But I refuse to give you 1 red cent. That's going to be smoked up, shot up, drank up, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to you. I'm not going to further your drug addiction or your alcoholism. Period. Oh, that's right, Philip. They get free paraphernalia. They get free needles. They get all that. They get everything they need. So if you want to be a dope fiend, you could be a dope fiend in San Francisco, California, and get all of what you need. You're pampered as a dope fiend out there. You're pampered more than the average citizen. You have more rights than the regular normie. You could go into the store. You could steal your toiletries and sell them on the streets. I've seen that too. Remember some of these videos where they would go into a Walgreens, right? Fill up a whole trash bag full of toiletries, walk out of the store without getting arrested at all. They will set up a mat on the street, right? And they will have all the products right there, selling them individually for lower than what you would get it for in the store. Hold on. Soul Love Real says, I live in San Francisco. This is one of the cleaner drug addict sidewalk dumpsters. I kid you not. That's crazy. So you live out there and you see worse than that? That's crazy. That is nuts. But we got super chats on deck I'm going to get to. And then we'll take calls in a little bit. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And I'm going to get to those in just a minute. Super chats on deck first, and then we get to the calls. Let me go over here where they are and get that rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. First things first, let's go to Ptolemy Atheling. I know I put it up. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Michael, who says the United States should raise the voting age to 35. You can't become president until that age anyway. I don't know about that one. I think that's not really appropriate, because, you could be 35 years old with a whole family, and that's not really paying taxes. If you're going to raise voting age to that, then how about paying taxes age? How about going to war, military, police, fire? That's not really right. Being president, being a leader, on the other hand, is a different story. You should be 35 years old to be a leader. That's probably appropriate for that. That's why when you're in the military, you rank up as you age, essentially. Not only because of your age, but you rank up with experience, which comes with age. Thank you to Ptolemy again for your donation. Thank you to Rats A, who says, so disrespect ABL. When you came to YouTube to find people like you and didn't, well, sir, you are unique and wonderful all to yourself. Much love. Thank you for that. That's a very kind expression. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apple, who says, New York Times wrote sympathetic article about Ray Epps. I can't tell I'm surprised on that one. Ptolemy says, the media completely looks the other way to this rotten behavior. If Trump's children acted like this, we would never hear the end of it. Of course. Anything, just like the whole thing with, Trump Jr. in the meeting with the Russian lady talking about diapers or something. I don't know what that was about, but that was like almost like going to I was like almost going to jail for that. They were talking about sending them to the penitentiary for that meeting. But you got a whole dope fiend, a whole crackhead, and Hunter. And that's totally fine. Not really a big deal. Oh, he was going through addiction. Leave him alone. He was going through addiction. Shut up. That gets to Apple again, who says Ray Epps is a Fed who incited riot to entrap MAGA. Oh, of course. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. Right Say also says ABO logic is ABL, logic is as logic does. Hunter and Ashley intended to accidentally leave behind these evidences are indeed intentional. They speak volumes, yes. Well, I mean, if they did it on purpose, it didn't make sense, and they most certainly do speak volumes. Apple also says Ray Epps, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and FBI are responsible for the deaths of Ashley Babbitt, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips, and Roseanne Boyles. Also, Gateway Pundit and Revolver News prove J6 Fed frame. FBI snitches in Kansas City Proud Boys. Of course, any kind of group like that that's considered to be like a white supremacist or some kind of racist group will have federales in it. Now, I'm not saying they're all going to be feds, but there will be federales in it. Now, the level of federale activity, it all depends on the group. But I think most groups like that are going to be like that. You may even have some rogue guys that aren't feds that try to just infiltrate for their own purposes. You know, guys trying to make podcasts, other kind of corny stuff like that. You never know how they operate and what their motives are. But anything like that, as a big platform, it's like it's high profile like that, there will be some federales in the mix. Please believe. Also, federales admit Kansas City Proud Boys tried to stop riot, prevent. That makes sense too. Apple also says RIP Seth Rich, July 10th, 2016, FBI has not solved murder. We already know what happened with that. They ain't gonna solve that. He also says God liberate all J6 mega patriots from DC solitary. And ABO, what state fair has the best corn dogs, best food? I have no idea. I've not been to all the state fairs in the country, so I couldn't really answer that question. No, I've not really been to a state fair in a long time. Not that I know of. I can't really remember. Also, Kai's Posthumous says Shinzo Abe wanted the Empire of Japan to be combat effective against the Chinese. They know that China has an axe to grind. Luckily, his party thinks the same. Well, yeah, shout out to Shinzo Abe for knowing that, because they're going to need it, because that could be very ugly with the Sea of Japan and Korea and North Korea. Yeah. Also, ABL, what was your best summertime outdoor concert? That's a good question. I don't want to say, because that's kind of it's kind of tricky, but it was a good concert. Put it to you that way. It was a good concert. You know, back in my young man days. I forget what the concert was, but it was like real romantic. I was like 18, 19. It was cool, but I don't want to say nobody's name or what it was, because I don't get anybody in trouble. Not me, but nobody else. Also, Apu says, ABL, camping, tent, cabin, or trailer, hot dog fire. Hot dog fire. I need a cabin for camping, sir. I'm not going to be in no tent. Like, I was outside yesterday sitting down on a bench, and I got ate up. I got all kind of bites on my legs. I feel like I sat on the anthill. It's crazy. Like, not just like right like on my knee area. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's not a very good feeling. So no tents. I don't want no ticks on me, no chiggers on me, no mosquitoes, rats, mollusks. I don't want anything like that on me. Snakes. Give me a cabin. Point blank period. Give me a cabin and a grill, and I'll be good to go. Also, ABO, do you do cliff diving, bridge jumping? No. To keep it short, no. You know, I'll watch it on TV, you know, something like that. I might do like a rock climbing wall, indoor rock climbing, or some kind of controlled rock climbing. I might do that. But cliff diving? No. You got the wrong one, sir. I ain't putting on no wingsuit, no base jumping. Apple also says Joe Biden sees tacos, Hillary has hot sauce, cringe. Yeah, that whole thing was kind of cringe. With what's that? Jill Biden. Yeah, very cringe. John Medeski says, why is the border open while the economy is so bad? Because it's part of their campaign promise to leave the border open, essentially. Somebody says glamour camping. Yeah, I'm glamping all day long. You know what I mean? To the point where I want a house. Give me a house in the woods and I'll camp. give me a grill outside with some logs around it, I consider that to be camping. I'm not going to be in the tent. Let me see. John also says, y'all ever think that the ones who made the game still run it? It's a spiritual battle going on. Maybe so. Maybe that's kind of what's going on. Thank you to Mr. Wilmer for your donation. And Mr. Wilmer also says, Fully Mayor says he wants to resign due to crime. Yeah, I saw that. He was like, look, man, I'm tired of this. I don't want to have to go through this anymore. I think I already played that video as well. Let me see if I could put it up right quick. Oh, and I almost said that right now. Let me put the video up right quick. I can't find it. But yeah, that was an interesting video. They were like interviewing him right there on the spot on the street where some shooting happened. He was like, look, I'm tired of this. Staring at the ceiling at night, worried about the next crime is going to happen, the next shooting, the next this, the next that. I'm ready to be done being the mayor of Philadelphia. That's what he said, essentially. He's like, I'm out of here. Thank you to Stormworks for your donation with the 100. Thank you for that. F. Ranger Xbox says Jerome Davidson wins best political ad ever. Love it. Yeah, that was good. With the Klan and the AR and all that. That was good. Face Superman says Sleepy Joe, Pedo Joe is turning our country into Canada. Yeah, essentially. And thank you to Handmade, who says, please check out 1776 Restoration Monument in DC now. Movement, pardon me. Not monument, movement. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll see what's going on with it. But you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get cracking. There's also a Skype email. If you want to get on that way, you could be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, talking about anything politically related. No cussing, no acting crazy. If you're drunk, just enjoy the show, but don't call in, okay? Because some of you guys are nuts. But again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. If Skype acts up, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. You know, I don't take no responsibility for it. But let's go ahead and get into it. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, it's up in A Ranger Xbox.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. Well, a lot's going on, but I'm not going to talk about a lot because I like to listen to some of the other great callers. But I had an epiphany the other day, and I just had to share it.
All righty, go for it.
Okay. Where I work at, they hired a couple months ago. They hired I call him a kid, but he's 30 years old. He just got out of the Army. I was in the Army. He's Puerto Rican. He's from Puerto Rico. Great kid. I love having him around. Great guy. And we talk a lot, of course. And I got to talking to him, and I'm thinking, I'm like, it just occurred to me. AOC keeps telling everybody she's a person of color. That's not true. That's not one bit true. Because if my high school dropout tail end remembers my history, because I love history, and I love reading about history, Spain conquered Puerto Rico, and all the natives that run Puerto Rico were taken to Spain, where they died very quickly of disease, starvation, and, just being slaves. And they were replaced with Spanish people from, where's Spain at again? Is Spain on the African continent? Is Spain in Asia? No! Spain happens to be part of Europe. Guess what kind of people come from Europe? Ta-da! So, America took over possession of Puerto Rico after the Spanish-American War. Consequently, that's, her lie number one. She's not a person of color. Well, white is a color, but not the way they mean it. So anyway, lie number two, she's not Puerto Rican. Her forefathers, her parents come from Puerto Rico, but she's never lived in Puerto Rico. She has nothing in common with the people of Puerto Rico. She has none of their values because she's from New York City. She's a New Yorker it's like me. I'm an American. My heritage is German and Russian. Now, here's the funny thing, ABL. You put me out in the sun for a couple of hours and her out in the sun for a couple of hours, I'll guarantee I'll get darker than she is. So I lived in Florida for 26 years. I mean, I can get, for a German, Russian, white guy, I can get pretty dark. I mean, I got people that, when I go down to Peru or someplace in South America, Spanish to me all the time. They can't tell because where do Spanish people come? What color of people live in Europe? Ta-da! I just, the quickest way to make a liberal conservative insanely mad is lie to them. The quickest way to make a liberal Democrat mad is tell them the truth. And I'll leave you with that, brother. Love your show. God bless America. We got to get rid of this New World Order. Holland, Sri Lanka, South Africa, Ghana. I mean, the chips are starting to fall. People got to wake up. People have got to wake up. Y'all take care, brother. Love it. Bye.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Let's get to some more here. Let's go 289 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Are you well?
Yeah, my name is Gonzalo. I'm calling a long-time listener, big fan of your YouTube channel. I'm calling from Canada, by the way.
All righty, what's going on?
Yeah, it's sort of a comment about, I saw your preview earlier today about that insane woke professor and the Josh Hawley exchange, and I think Rex Murphy, he's one of Canada's best political analysts and commentators, called this is basically the cult of wokeness. This has become like the 21st century's version of the Spanish Inquisition, that if you're not woke, somehow you're racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobe, xenophobe, right? And Hawley was right to question on that and said, okay, well, I mean, I'm sorry, but simple biology, man can give birth and women cannot. And you mentioned earlier about her rolling her eyes like some condescending anything typical as social justice SJW woke type, right? So I'm just wanted to say it's just back to the point about Rex Murphy saying this is the cult of woke. Well, yeah, that's essentially wokeness 101, right? I mean, it's unfortunate. It's infesting every single nook and cranny of our culture. That's all I wanted to say. But anyway, I like your video, I like your commentary on it. So yeah, keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Being SJW, being super woke, it's everywhere. You can't really stop it. It's crazy, but you can't stop it. It all depends on where you are, where you live, how you operate. You can stop these things from taking root in your society, for sure. Now 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABO? It's Baby Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. I just wanted to comment about that Uvalde video in the school there. I don't know, all of these shootings that have not just happened recently, but I mean, heck, you can go all the way back to the Kennedy assassination. They've all got one thing in common, is that there are tons of unanswered questions that we'll never know the answers to. So, it's so hard to really believe the narrative coming from the news when you hear about these shootings. I really can't believe everything they tell me about it. I really can't.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, what do you believe? Because they put out so much information, and then sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. So it's like, what do you think about the whole situation? It kind of gets confusing a little bit.
It does, yeah. And then people start asking questions, and then you get these theories going on in your head, and then they'll call you a conspiracy theorist, But I mean, you look at Sandy Hook. I mean, that's when we were, I would say, first introduced to crisis actors. There are some very disturbing videos about that incident of parents, that supposedly lost their kids off screen, joking and laughing around. And once the camera goes on them, they got these tears in their eyes and they're all sad. I mean, that's some messed up stuff right there. And I really think that it's all an agenda by the deep state to eventually try to take away guns. That's what they want. They're not going to stop. These shootings are going to keep going until, they won't be happy until they take away everyone's guns. So that way we can never have any power again.
Yeah, that's ultimately, that's probably the goal right there, because, there's always an agenda for a lot of these things that go on. Like, just like with the whole Uvalde thing, now they have the new gun control bills they pass on the federal level. And then some of the states are going to go a little bit further. It's always that constant creep. They keep passing this, past that, and it keeps going on and on. And it's like, will it ever stop? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Just my, thoughts on that issue. So, love you, man. Love everybody in the chat, all the callers, and you have a good night, buddy.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, later.
Yeah, very good points that were made. Very, very good points that were made. It's definitely, they see what's happening right now and take advantage of it. They want to use it for their own benefit, for their own purposes. It's a good Christ can't let it go to waste. That's what that is. Let's go. 626, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Me. Hi, ABL. This is James from California. I spoke with you on your last live stream.
All right, man. What's going on?
I was gonna mention about the video that you're gonna make tomorrow about the Starbucks closing down.
Yes.
These stores, they're Democratic-run cities. Where I live in Los Angeles, right here. They passed the free needle exchange back in 2018. It turned out that actually a couple employees were cleaning up and they got stuck by them needles.
Oh.
So they opened bathroom policy, meaning that they'll just let anybody go and use their bathrooms. And even these guys are high on fentanyl or heroin. It poses a threat to the public. And it's just an example, like their utopia is starting to become a reality. It's turning around, and now they're shutting down these stores. And the other thing is that you're right about San Francisco. You got to remember, Gavin Newsom used to be the mayor for San Francisco. That was his district before. And now you see the condition that it is. And it's getting pretty bad here too in Los Angeles. So, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And I'm glad that you're gonna put a video out tomorrow, and you're gonna put some content out there and let people know, like, realize what the real problem is out here. And it's like you said, you can go to these states and become a professional crack smoker, basically.
Exactly. You get paid like you're getting paid to smoke crack. It's crazy.
And I see, like, my local city here, it's getting pretty bad as well. We have a lot of local homeless people around, and pretty much the police their hands are pretty much full, because this is one of the LA counties has gotten defunded because of police reform. So they really ain't doing much about it. They don't even get a court hearing. They just let them go. Same thing where I work at. They able to steal up to $980 because of Prop 47, and they don't even get a court hearing. they let them out, and then they're gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad right now. Thing going on. But I just want to ask you a real quick question.
Right.
Would you ever like to run for office and get involved in like politics?
I may do that. I get asked a question a lot of times. People that don't even really know me, sometimes they ask me that question. They just see me in public for some reason. So I'm not. If that question gets asked enough to me, eventually I may do it just because I'm being called to do it. But I wouldn't want to do it just because. I wouldn't want to just. I don't have ambitions of being a politician. But if it was a thing that I was called to do, I'd do it.
In Virginia, I think it'd be more of a conservative state right there. You would have a good chance, to run for office in those districts where you're at.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to say. Just, I can't wait to see your video tomorrow. I look forward to it. But, I was doing research about when they started that free needle exchange back in 2018, and then it just ran rampant after that and got out of control. So they're forced to shut down some stores now because of it.
Of course. I mean, anybody could have seen it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they did that back then, I predicted this would happen. I knew it would happen because I know how the crackheads are. They don't change their stripes. They're the same. They're going to go in the bathroom, get loaded. You're going to have employees having to clean up behind it. It's just not going to go very well. And with the crackheads, going to come to crime. So now they're in danger. Anybody could have seen it coming. But now they have seen that this didn't work out. It was a failed experiment. Now they got to abort mission, jump ship.
Yeah, and it just becomes a reality now that you can't allow a free open bathroom to public, even if they're not paying patron. And this is a result of it. I just want to get off the phone real quick because, man, I know you've been real busy, but if you ever do get into politics, you got my support.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I always support your videos. I watch your videos, and you always have a pretty good outlook on things. Common sense.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the call.
It's refreshing. You have a good night. God bless you, ABL.
Thank you, man.
It's nice talking to you again.
Likewise.
Good night, bro.
Yeah, man. The whole thing with Starbucks. Remember that? I covered the Starbucks thing. Was that back in 2018? I'm not sure when that was. It was some years back. I covered the Starbucks thing here on the channel because there was a protest. Remember that whole thing where there was a guy, it was a black guy, I think it was in Philadelphia, and he was sitting down at the Starbucks, and then the baristas were like, hey, you got to buy something or you can't be right here. You're like loitering. But then it was this lawyer dude that came out that he was waiting for. It became a whole big thing. So then it was like, you can't deny somebody the ability to be in a Starbucks. It's for their community, all kind of just lofty, ridiculous, stupid stuff, right? So then that became, well, you can use the bathroom for whatever you want to. There shouldn't be any locks or restraints on it. But I knew once they did that, it was going to be open to, you're going to be able to, you're pretty much advertising Starbucks as a place to go get high. Because you're in certain neighborhoods, you cannot just use the bathroom. Like if you're in a downtown area, you can't go into a store and use the bathroom typically. That's not how that works. You got to go find a public restroom somewhere, go to a hotel and check in and use the bathroom there. You're not going to find public restrooms in the highly populated downtown area because they know the dope fiend's going to be in there taking baths, living in there, shooting up drugs, doo-dooing everywhere. They know that. But when Starbucks allows it now, okay, boom, I can't go here with use the bathroom or shoot my drugs, but I can go there. Now you're bringing all the crackheads to descend upon the Starbucks. You're funneling them right there. It's dangerous. So of course that didn't work. Failed experiment. Now they gotta just try to reboot. 650. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Jeffrey.
All righty. What's going on?
I just wanted to just mention that you got this nailed. Then I mean, and as far as the Gavin Newsom thing goes, the guy's a total cocaine addict, and and that Kimberly Guilfoyle went over to the Trump side, and I work for the city and county of San Francisco. I know this guy, and the guy's just a total piece of shit.
Wait, well, hold on. You can't. Hold on. You can't curse. That's all. One rule.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you're saying he's on drugs? He's a coke addict?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a known fact in the city. Known fact.
Interesting.
I just want to, I don't want to tie up your time online or anything like that, but you've got this nailed, man. You've got these guys nailed, and I just hope that you keep it up, man. I'm a big fan, and I hope you keep it up.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, man.
All righty. So yeah, shout out to him. But I'm gonna do a video on that Starbucks because I caught that years ago. I mean, I'm not some kind of sage. Anybody could have seen that coming, really. I mean, good grief. 304, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Here's a Jeff ABL. How you doing tonight?
Everything's all right about yourself.
Pretty good. Welcome to America. An incoherent sentence in every speech and a breakfast taco in every pot. Am I right?
That's right.
It's getting bad. Let's see what we've got right down here on the script. Repeat the line is definitely on there. But he's out of his mind at this point, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he's somewhere else. He's no longer on Earth anymore at this point.
That's really, they were showing this Dr. Jill Biden in her taco speech, and I'm like, what is she, a doctor like Dre or John Cena, the doctor of thugonomics? My only other guess is maybe a psychiatrist because she's completely surrounded by psych ward patients.
That probably fits right there.
I'll tell you, this is a little bit of a change of subject. Boy, as Americans, we should be shamed having Canadians calling into the show, letting Americans know how woke they are. Hey, what's next? A Frenchman will call in and tell us how filthy we are. It's getting bad. But anyways, I just wanted to call in and say hi tonight. Also, you had somebody over there in your chat saying AOC needs to make them a drink. Can't you put arsenic in your own Kool-Aid, bud?
you could do that. Just do that. Get out of the way.
That's it. Well, anyway, I was going to call in and say hi and have a little laugh with you, ABL. Keep the show rolling. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye, bud.
All right. Great call as always. And you guys are fantastic as an audience, as always, as well. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I couldn't do the show without y'all. All righty. 929, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how are you?
It's all good. What's happening?
Yes. The video that you just showing, what the district name again? I mean, the county that suffered Randall Kabit mass shooting. What is the county name again?
You talking about Uvalde, Texas?
Yes, Uvalde, Texas. So I am looking at the other scene right now, and there is a video that is 1 hour with 22 minutes. So you may want to look at up.
Yeah, I've seen it. The video I showed was just like a little snippet, but I've seen that there's also a longer video of all the footage from inside the school.
Yes, it is totally 1 hour. Did you see it?
Yes, I've seen that.
Oh, you see that 1 hour video too, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube as well.
Oh, okay. So, man, I mean, Anthony, you should stop. You should stop answer the call from the Uvalde shortcut.
I didn't. So you said what now?
I mean, Uvalde shortcut. That the last week he said the reason why the Brent inflation, the Brent price hike, caused the gas price increase is because the oil industry's fault. But we all know that, like, just around this week, Brandon and his healthcare worker, since Brandon is a potato and brain dead, so he cannot do anything. So he needs his healthcare worker to send the oil and gas from the emergency to the foreign country like Europe and Asia. You do hear that news, right?
Yeah, he's trying to get more oil from other places rather than producing here.
No. He's saying out oil emergency to the foreign country.
Oh, you said he sent it. Yeah, he sent some oil to China.
No. He's just doing this right now. He's saying oil to the Europe country and the Asian country, not years ago when he's still a vice president. I say like this year right now.
Okay.
Oh yes, and also we do know that like he blocked the oil and gas drilling in the Alaska, and I believe it also in New Mexico too, right? And also he blocked the new offshore gas drilling and the oil drilling in the ocean too.
He blocked also the Keystone XL and a lot of domestic oil production.
Yes, and don't forget that he signed the climate communist chain too.
Right on.
This is why our oil and price like increase like crazy right now. And we do remember that the fake news media once said, they say, oh, there is no such thing as inflation. It never existed. It is a conspiracy theory. But then they come out, oh, inflation is good, but it will end. and then they say, oh, inflation is good. It's a good thing. Oh, inflation is oil industry fault. Oh, inflation is the Putin fault. Oh, inflation is Trump fault. They'll brand that. So I don't know why even the shortcut listen to those like freaking cloud show.
Right on. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so you should stop answer him, man. Every time you answer his call, like a very audience of your soul, like they literally lose their brain cells from his brain dead talking point.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I thank you for the call. As always, definitely appreciate you.
All right, let's go, Brandon, and the shot must flow.
All righty. Shout out to him for the call. And thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This is also a podcast we're recording right now, live. And it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we're on the Wednesday show right now. This will be available Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Links for that will always be in the description box, or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, we already got the numbers always in the ticker, always in the description box as well. All right, I'm gonna read some of the comments right here. And as I restart Skype, I think it might be having a little bit of an issue. Matter of fact, no, I think we good. Let's do this. 919 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is Lynn from North Carolina.
All righty.
So, yeah, I love your channel. I love your shows. And I just, as a black female Republican, I'm so embarrassed. I'm tired of seeing all these black women who are just doing crazy stuff, like the professor, the woke professor, the twerking senator, the young lady who got mad at her baby's daddy for, bringing his son McDonald's. It's just embarrassing. So I'm just hoping one day we'll get some real women with some sense who will be in the news instead of all these woke women. There are a lot of us out here, a lot of black female conservatives, and I guess we just don't do things that make the news like that. So I'm not to insult your audience's intelligence, but there are those of us who are out there. We just don't make the news, but it's a lot of us who are out there. So I just want to say that, and not trying to be racist. It's a racial thing because that's the trend that I've seen, in the last few months. A lot of these black women who are out there, it's just embarrassing. So, there's a lot of us who are out here who have some sense.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I agree 100%. And it is embarrassing because, they get a lot of attention, they get a lot of publicity. Then it's like it casts a bad light on all of us. So I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for all that you've done. I appreciate you. I enjoy when I get onto YouTube and I see your videos pop up. So I love watching your videos. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm a great supporter of you.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's go to 701. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anti-view. How are you doing tonight, ABL?
Oh, it's all good. What's happening?
Oh, not a whole lot. It's been a long time since I called in because I've been super busy with work. So I thought I'd carve out some time for you in the audience today. What do you think about that map of the Mediterranean Sea in the United States?
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. Like, so for the audience, if you don't know, so there's this map floating around that supposedly shows America if we don't stop climate change. And really all it is a Mediterranean Sea superimposed on the center of North America. I mean, like the United States. And people are believing it like, oh man, we got to stop climate change. It's like, you don't see Italy right there carved out. You don't see like the Mediterranean Sea outline. That's crazy.
Besides that, I grew up in, Minnesota, North Dakota Valley, and I know that I'm going to be the first one underwater. Like that Hudson Bay starts flowing and it goes right up through the Mississippi, and I'm underwater. So just by having my basic knowledge, not being a map junkie like you are, but just having my basic knowledge, I knew immediately that was wrong. How many stupid people do we have walking around this country right now? Let's be honest.
It's crazy.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So all these very intelligent people, I bet they have no idea what's going to happen when the railroad decides to shut down because the union, they all decide to strike. Have you heard about that?
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, there's major talks. So my husband's a train nerd. He likes trains like you like maps, okay?
Okay.
So he is super into exactly what's going on with the trains right now. And everybody's getting angry because they're having to work, They already work 7 on and 2 off and 8 on and 2 off. Now they're like 14 on and 2 off. So they're not seeing their families. They're not seeing their kids grow up. And they're not getting certain, benefits because, oh, well, sorry, we can't pay you more because this is all we have.
Wow.
I wonder if some of them are also like realizing that, hey, I'm voting Republican, but my union is giving all my money to the Democrats. Maybe they're opening their eyes to that too.
Maybe so. They should if they're not opened up.
For sure. Also, have you heard about the purge that happened in Minneapolis on the 4th of July? Did you get to see those videos by chance?
No, I did not hear about that. A purge?
Oh, so, okay, you have to look up 4th of July, downtown Minneapolis fireworks. People were literally driving around downtown Minneapolis, shooting bottle rockets and not even bottle rockets, bigger than that, like huge fireworks out of their car windows at buildings in downtown Minneapolis. There was like 890 phone calls to 911 that didn't even get taken because if I was a cop in Minneapolis, I would have long gone to a different state by now.
Of course,
you gotta look that up. It's insane.
I think I did see that. Like it was a video of somebody from their like a upper level apartment or something, and then somebody was chasing somebody with with fireworks. They were like shooting them at people.
Mm-hmm. Like going around downtown in multiple different cars, just shooting them off at different. It was nuts. I'm really hoping that they can kick Ilhan Omar out and that she can just maybe go to New York with her other buddy, because she's doing nothing for Minnesota, that's for sure. But I'm going to get off because you got other calls coming in, so I hope you have a great night.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Great call. But yeah, that map was crazy, wasn't it? Like I saw that right away. I'm like, okay, that's Mediterranean Sea. That's Italy right there. I see Cyprus and Malta and Sicily, all that kind of stuff. But I'm a map guy, but still, the boot should have been a dead giveaway right there. It's like you don't know what Italy looks like. You don't know. I mean, come on. And then it didn't make any sense because some places are below sea level, like Florida. Well, not below sea level, but close to sea level, like Florida, New Orleans. But those places were not underwater. 832, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hello? Is it ABL?
Speaking to you. What's happening?
Hey, how you doing, man?
It's all good, boss. What's happening?
Everything is good. Long time listener, first time caller. This is James. Calling from Del Rio, Texas. I'm currently deployed to the border. So right now, this morning, I don't know if you heard. This morning we had about 1,000 people crossing through the river to the other side on Eagle Pass. So it's getting worse. I think a lot of people from the other side never knew that we already have a new law in Texas that we have to dump them around back to Mexico. So maybe the cartel already knows, so they're trying to rush to the U.S., move all the people they already got money from, move them to the U.S. So we've been busy here, and I just wanted to know if you can do more research on that this morning in Eagle Pass. I'm currently deployed to the border, so I'm in the area right now.
Yeah, I definitely want to look into it because that situation is just really crazy. So I definitely will look a lot into that.
Yes, I mean, it's so sad. I wasn't even born in Madison, but I've been here for a long time. I was born and raised in Nigeria, but I joined the military, Texas, National Guard. And I mean, it's like a blow in my face when I see people just crossing the border. Meanwhile, you have a lot of people who trying to make it down here through legal means and, being on the list for 3, 4, 5 years, and they're still waiting. And people just cross to the border and then they have everything that, the taxpayer is paying for. They have it for free.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I got to say, so I don't want to waste your time or give other callers to make call. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right, man. Great call. Yeah, the border situation is crazy. So hopefully we can get that under control. The way it is right now, it's like, what can be done? Well, we know what can be done, but what will be done? That's the question. So shout out to everybody going back down there trying to make a difference, because we definitely need everybody that can go down there. We need them down there for sure. We need them down there for sure. Okay, let's go. Great call. 615 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Boom. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, been a little while, man. What's going on with you?
Man, I got one little thing. Just hear me out on it, though. It ain't really a disagreement with you. It honestly ain't a disagreement with you, but let's go back to the kids coming off the bus.
Yeah.
So when I first saw that video, the first thing I saw was them kids throwing up the guns and throwing up the one little kid throwing up gang signs and throwing up the guns, and I'm like, these kids are probably like 10 years old, maybe 12, if they're lucky, maybe. And then when the dude's like, yeah, you kids be safe, you kids be safe. Dude, there's pop, 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 pop in the camera, and nobody's saying nothing about that. The only person that said anything about that was, shout out to Jericho Green. He's the only person that said something about that. So that's one thing. And then when it showed the crackheads, dude, I literally just busted out laughing because I was like, look at this. They're coming off the bus, ghetto. Mom and daddy ain't teaching them nothing. They're getting raised by the gang culture. If you listen to this rap music that's going on with the drill music, Victor can tell you all about that. So that's what they're getting raised on. And they're all like, oh, yeah, pop, 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 boom, boom, boom. And then when they come off the bus, they're walking right up in the Skid Row. And I'm like, but the thing about it is everybody's looking at the Skid Row going, oh, my goodness, they got to walk through this. Yeah, because that's what California is doing. Now, if I was the mayor of that joint, I'm just telling you right now, I would roll up in there and arrest everybody. Oh, y'all doing crack on the streets, y'all? It's time, y'all. It's time to wrap this up. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. I lock everybody up. Bow, 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 bow. Clean that whole place up. Pressure wash that joint and let them kids come off that bus the right way. And that would be one thing to clean everything up. But the second thing to clean everything up is these parents, man, got to start doing something at home with these kids. Because all these kids out here killing each other, it's the gang culture going on, it's the music. I've been doing a whole lot of research lately, and No Jumper is doing nothing but pushing gang culture every single day on their platform. And all these kids are going to that, listening to all these fools and all these rappers. Lil Durk and all them are talking about smoking Tuka and smoking each other. We got dudes in Memphis getting popped every single day, and ain't nobody even trying to pay attention to that because we got some idiots in the White House that thinks that all this is good to keep all these crackheads, keep all these people killing each other. It's going to be all good. Don't even worry about it. It's all one big smoke screen, and he's going to make it be all right. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to look at all these problems. It's all problems. And I don't understand why do you think they want it so bad? Why do they want so much death? Why do you think they want so much crack? Why do you think they want so much homelessness? What is it, man? Do you have any idea? Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, I think that they have a policy of not arresting these people and just kind of letting them do their thing because they want to please the very liberal people in the city. So if they start cracking down and locking people up, then they start to lose favor with the big rich people, the big tech people. They start to lose favor that way. And then also there's money to be made. If you are a dope fiend on the streets, there's all kind of NGOs around, there's all kind of tax money around. And, it's kind of like the whole Hunter Biden and Joe Biden thing, 10 for the big guy. That's what it is. So it's money making, it's control, it's power, it's all of that. You benefit from having this low class of people there because it helps you politically.
Yeah, man, it's kind of sick. You know what I'm saying? It's sick that's what they do. And you got a point. They really are like what do you call that? They're like gaining what they want to gain off of these people being in poverty, it's kind of sick, and then to piggyback off of that, those little kids that was hitting those cops and cussing at those cops, dude, I ain't even gonna lie. I have seen that with white kids too, where I came up from. Little white kids would be that way too. I came up in the hood. I seen little black kids doing that. That's like a thing too in the hood where them mamas just don't even care. Them little kids was out there in the underwear, man. That little girl was out there. Was she even wearing a diaper? No shirt. Don't even care. Just out there in the mud, man. Don't even care. And you got two cops standing there once again. go ahead and, like you say, let me rule by fiat. Hey, go ahead and let me be one of them cops. I don't care if I was a white cop or not. I said, hey, check this out, little kid. You're going with me. I'm taking you to the state. It's time to pick you up out of here because you don't need to be here. Whoever your parents are not taking care of you. That is complete child abuse. I would never let any little kid talk to me like that. They should have snatched them kids up, took them on, and just threw them on in there. And I heard they were looking for a murder suspect at their house anyway. So, dude, it's just complete chaos and ghetto-ness overflowing. And to beat it all, the president's son is busted big time smoking crack on the phone. His daddy's name is Pedo Peter in the phone, and ain't nobody talking about it but us, man. That's what's real sad. I'm going to leave you with that, ABL, man. Great show, great chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jericho Green coming in tonight, man. Peace out, ABL. Good talking to you, brother.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
You mean?
All right, good call. The only thing about those kids and the whole gang sign thing is like, you got to ask yourself, why are they doing that? Like, what kind of environment do they live in where they think it's okay to like throw little signs in front of the camera? Like, that's the actual problem is where they live in. And you get off the bus and you see this just filth. I mean, how's their home life like? It probably ain't that much better. 301 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Yes, Benjamin Bussey from living in Tacoma Park. I got to turn the screen down. Okay, you had a problem with just the observation about Joe Biden. I call Joe Biden a pervert king. And the reason why I say that is because he's done this numerous times and he's done it on camera, so the whole world sees what he's doing. And also the entourage around him, the Secret Service, knows that what he's doing. And the parents of these children, mainly little girls, know what they're doing. And it also seems like they deliberately give these little girls to Joe Biden. The video that you showed about the girl, I noticed that she had her back turned towards Joe Biden. And I don't know, and it could be what can even make it even more diabolical is if these parents tell these children that, hey, we're going to put you in front of Joe Biden and we just want you to stand there. And at a certain point, he's going to sniff on you. He's done this numerous times, and there's always a lot of people around him. Even when he's signing whatever those things he be signing, there always happen to be a little girl there, and everybody knows that he's going to do this. So my thing is, hey man, this cat is. If you the parents and at the Secret Service, all of them are in the know. So my question is, what is Joe Biden? What type of example is he setting, and what type of devious, dark behaviors is he into? And and that's all I got, man. I thank you for your show, man. I always learn a lot from it. And have a good evening.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, great call. Points were made. Let's go to 860. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's just another far-right Latina. How are you?
Oh, it's all good. How about yourself?
All right. Did I hear you say that fentanyl is the biggest cause of death among 18 to 45?
That's correct.
Did the CDC say anything about it?
I don't recall if they did.
Because if that's a fact, then two things came to mind. Number one, can we really say that a cop killed Floyd?
No.
And the second thing was, you said it was a man-made drug, so I'm thinking, since it's killing most other people, is there a vaccine for it?
That's a good question. I don't think there's a vaccine that you could just take and, I think it's just out there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're supposed to save lives, right?
That's correct.
Anyway, the situation at the border is insane. I thought it was interesting that you pointed out, thank you, about common sense gun laws. because they had asked Kathy Hochul about this over in New York if she had any data regarding the correlation with mass shootings and legal gun owners, and she said she didn't need the numbers because she just needs to focus on common sense gun laws or something like that. Why don't they apply that to the border?
Right. That's a good point.
Just like you said, because it's not just the guns, it's the drugs and whatever else is coming through there.
It's everything. You know, they got the human beings, like the actual slaves coming through. You have everything coming across. They want to leave that wide open, but then they want to talk about gun control. It seems kind of silly.
Now, this attack that they have with the far-right Latinos or Latinx or whatever, what they're trying to do to Mayra Flores ever since she won, I think CNN said that about her, and then before that, or recently, New York Times said that she's not the real deal, whatever that means. Mm-hmm. Since they're letting everybody come across, I'm wondering if they're thinking that they're traitors or betraying them, because what if they don't vote their way? Because this influx is supposed to be to their benefit.
Mm. Yeah,
and she won in a border town.
Right. That's a very good point.
I don't like that.
Yeah, they probably don't like what's going on because, like you say, they probably want them to vote for Democrats because they're the ones that quote unquote let them in, and it's not going that way. So they might feel betrayed.
And then the other thing is, it was really difficult to listen to that professor when she was saying that men can get pregnant. Sometimes I have to mute those things because they're just they're hard to watch. I didn't know that you could go to a Senate hearing or whatever these things are called and say, ignore the question and say that you want to answer a more interesting one that you come up with yourself.
Yeah, I think that's probably not what you can't do, but she just decided to do it anyway. I don't know how that works. I don't think she's under oath or anything. I think it's just kind of a dog and pony show to a certain extent. But if she was under oath, then she most certainly couldn't do it.
Because they're just there to talk about something that they support and want to be heard. That's all it is. Like, it's open to anybody?
I suppose so.
And then she brought up the Texas laws, and I thought to myself, she was saying that the same red states that have the abortion rules also have the voting ban or whatever, and she singled out Texas, and I'm so confused because I don't know did you ever see that rapid fire question session with a Republican who was asking one of the Texas Democrats about all the voter rules in her state, and she could barely answer any of the questions?
Oh, I think I did see that.
She's one of the ladies that they had fled because they didn't want to vote. And I have the stats right in front of me because I'm a little confused because she said Texas ranks the top 10 for black voter turnout in the country. When it came to voter registration, when it came to voter turnout, even Democrats support voter ID, blacks support voter ID, and the Hispanic community also supported voter ID, and the least amount of people that turned out to vote were Hispanics.
Interesting.
So I don't know where they come out with this voter stuff because they keep mentioning it, but they never include the data.
Right.
Well, I guess for their audience, they don't need to. Right? And I'll leave you with this. After Dr. Jill, she said something foolish again. I could care less if she thinks of me as a breakfast taco as long as gas is cheap.
That's right. Hey, that's probably the most important thing. The whole breakfast taco, okay, that's great. But can we get a little relief at the pump? Can we get it down to about $2.50 maybe? That'd be great.
Hello. But that's actually for Mexicans, right? So maybe she thinks of Mexicans as breakfast tacos. I think the rest of us were bodegas in the Bronx. All right. Well, I'm glad I got through. Thanks for taking my call, ABL. Good night.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, great call as always. And you guys are fantastic for being here. But yeah, I mean, let's get that gas down. How about that? We can, all is forgiven. If you want to be forgiven, Joe Biden, for the whole breakfast taco comment, let's get that gas down to about let's get it below $3 and then we go from there. Let's start there. Have that be a good starting point. $2.99, that'd be a good start. Let's get it back to where it was when you came into the White House. Yeah, I'll I'll be cool with that if you can get that cracking, for sure. All right, that's kind of what that is. All right, but you guys are fantastic. You know, the calls have been great tonight. Thank y'all for being here. Couldn't do it without you. You got a little bit more time. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I'm going to give you my number. I almost gave you the Tennessee number by mistake because it's like similar, the 423-434. Sometimes I might just I'll start incorrectly and keep going, but I've not given you my actual phone number yet. One of my phone numbers. I won't give you, I got a bunch of phone numbers, you know what I mean? Because I do some other stuff, but that's a different story. Yeah. So short version of what? The short version of, I'm seeing this comment right here. It says CB, some short version is on YouTube. People are praising their media shows, the edited version. Oh, you talking about the breakfast taco kerfuffle? Is that it or something else I'm missing? I have to see, that's why I like seeing the full story so I can know exactly what's going on. 410 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Israel calling from Washington State.
All righty, man. What's going on?
So, it wasn't one of your topics. You gave so much topics to choose from. However, one of them is that I like to just talk in general about the U.S. economy. You start seeing, I know you have a very educated audience. However, there's, the U.S. economy has been propped up by the government, right? Whether it's stimulus, printing money. And so you start seeing some of that start to crack, right? Like the economy. You start seeing like Alphabet, Google, say they're not going to hire any more people. Redfin laying off people. Zillow, a lot of tech companies are laying folks off. Starbucks closing down stores, whether it's attributed to violence or the unionization of their workers, right? That's like another plausible thing that why they're closing them down. Americans are in debt, right? I saw the statistics for, excuse me, for the auto loans. Some say $1.4 trillion. Some say $1.6 trillion that Americans are in debt. It's like an all-time high in automotive loans. Banks loosened up the restrictions on loans the last couple of years. Repos are up, right? Because, during right now the inflation, folks, whether, they're going to start clamping down, right? The rising prices in gas, housing. And so just in general, though, just like a PSA, ABL, that let's all be on the watch, on how we spend our money, to save, not to get into a large debt upcoming because something's going to pop, ABL. I mean, what's your feeling about that, about the U.S. economy?
So what's your question specifically?
Yeah, so about everything, but just in general, the U.S. economy is, if all these things are signs, and a lot of experts that I listen to, that there's a bubble fixing to pop, whether it's the housing, right? We'll start seeing that inventory swelling up, houses that they're not selling as fast, and it's all contingent on where you live in the United States. However, it seems like all those indicators are there, right? So, how healthy do you think the U.S. economy is, ABL, from your viewpoint? How do you see it?
There's definitely some problems. I definitely will say that. I'm not sure to what extent these problems exist. I don't really know, but the housing market is definitely going to be an issue. That's pretty much already done because the rates going up. It's pretty much over with. So it's just a matter of time before you can really see it and know that it's over. Now, as far as the economy being propped up, that's going on. But I think one of the main things is some things that can be controlled, like the gas. I mean, the gas is simply a problem of a lack of production. I mean, some of this stuff is just, it's like unforced errors. Some things, it's like, okay, you have other factors that are going on, but the gas, that's an unforced error that the Biden administration is doing. So something's got to give there. If they keep doing this, it's going to ruin us. It really is. So I'm not sure how this is going to look when it finally just it's over. But it's not going to look very well. Like right now, we're already in a recession right now by definition. So I think it'll get worse before it gets better, basically. But I think it will turn around. But I'm not really sure how long we'll be in the recession before we go back to other direction.
Yeah, it just I just get that eerie feeling that, I mean, what the general public is, or what the government's telling us is a half truth, which is often more dangerous than a full truth, than a full lie, should I say, right? So I think hopefully we're on the road to recovery, but I just feel that there's some worse things gonna happen in the economy, unfortunately. So I just taken steps like save money and not to really spend large purchases, new cars or whatnot, just because the interest rates aren't there, and then the federal government's gonna raise some more interest again, probably 0.75 or even 1%, which will even do more than just raise the loans for the mortgages and whatnot. But no, thank you, ABL, for your show. Thank you for what you do. I am a Latino, actually, more specifically Mexicano. My parents immigrated from Mexico out here in Washington State. I'm in deep liberal country, right? So, but there's still some conservative folks that just like to think they use, facts and data and base their decisions on that rather than emotions, which often is manipulated through media and to folks just to make decisions that benefit a small population, a small minority. But have a good evening. Thanks for taking my call. Shout out to all the callers and the people in the chat. And hey, have a blessed evening, everybody.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Bye.
That's a very good question, man, because the economy is rough. People already are struggling. And you got the administration talking about, oh, things are great. Everything is great. No, it's not. It's not. I mean, for some people, it's good. Even during the recession, during the downturn in the economy, things can go very well depending upon who you are, what you got going on. But not everybody's going to be in that same boat. 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Thank you for picking up my call.
Oh, no problem.
All right, so you can hear me clearly. Just let me know if you can.
I hear you well, boss.
All right, so what I wanted to touch on, honestly, so you might disagree with half the stuff I say, but I'm going to tell you right now, the way those little kids hit those officers and all that, I'm going to tell you right now, this is why I don't want to be a cop nowadays, because, they deal with so much. The way I am, I can only take so much from people. And it's not even the fact that I snap out. I just feel like it's just, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And it's like the fact that they weren't scared of those cops, and they're out there in their diapers, so you can tell the parents don't care about them.
Yeah. I mean, it's so sad to see stuff like that because kind of where it's going to end up. That's not really going to end very well. It's sad. That's all I can really say.
It is. Yeah, it is sad, and you just look back on the parents always look back on the parents. But yeah, with the whole, what was the other subject I wanted to touch on? Something tip of my tongue. Yeah, but that's what I really wanted to say. But you covered a story back in 2018 about a Starbucks being closed down.
I'm not sure when that was when I talked about that, about the exact year, so I can't necessarily say yes or no. But I know
it was a few years ago.
Yeah, I know. I most certainly did cover it when it happened, for sure.
Do you know? Wait, where did it happen again? Did you say Philadelphia or?
Well, it was a few stories. The first one that I remember, it was a Starbucks in Philly, and there was these two guys. They were black guys in there waiting, and I think the barista or manager or somebody came out and said, "Hey, you guys got to buy something. You can't just be in here without buying anything." And then that started a whole big protest, and it was a mess. it got to the point where there was a guy with a megaphone in the Starbucks in front of the barista's face. It was nuts. But what that wound up doing was it forced Starbucks to open their bathrooms to the general public, because in some Starbucks, you couldn't just go in the bathroom. You had to purchase something, or you had to do something to get in the bathroom. They give you a token or a key, but then it just opened the bathrooms up. So what that did was invite the criminal element, the drug addicts and whatnot, to go in there, use their drugs, and tear the bathroom to pieces. Now you have a danger element because you are funneling all the drug addicts and whatnot to the Starbucks. Because if you're in a downtown area, you probably can't go to a public place and use the bathroom at all, because they don't want the drug addicts to be in there, because that's who's always hanging out in a downtown type area. So now the Starbucks are facing that, and now they got to close as a result.
Yeah, that does make sense. And what I wanted to say about the Roe v. Wade thing, honestly, a lot of the people a lot of the women think, a lot of people think, oh, the government doesn't have a right to tell women what they can do with their own bodies. Well, first of all, they told you to put a mask on, y'all put it on. So let's just throw that out. And second of all, oh yeah, and they told you to take a vaccine, and most of you took it. Some of you didn't. Some made their own better choices. It was better for them. But I'm gonna just get to my point. My girlfriend talked. She told me, well, first of all, it's my body, it's my choice, and it's my responsibility to not get pregnant, to not get myself pregnant, and to take care of my own body. So when it comes down to freedom, it comes with responsibility. And not to try to put no information out there, but she's basically saying, it's like you said, if it's their body, it's their choice, it's their responsibility, but they want to be able to absolve the responsibility. And they also try to say that Clarence Thomas tried to also get rid of, X, Y, and Z, just other stuff. Yeah, but it's everybody has a responsibility. It's like, if you know you're gonna be, I feel like if you know you're gonna be out there partying and all that stuff, take care of yourself. Like, how hard is that?
Not hard at all. It should be pretty simple.
Yeah, but hey, some people got to learn responsibility. I mean, everybody has a responsibility. I mean, I've been living on my own for 7 years. I haven't talked to my family. I haven't talked to nobody. I've been doing it on my own. I know I have a responsibility. I know I have to pay rent and all that kind of stuff. I hope it doesn't go up for me, but I've been surviving.
Well, hey, man, that's good that you're out there doing your thing.
Exactly. Thanks for taking my call, EBL.
Thanks for the call, boss. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. I'm reading some of the comments here. And you guys, yeah, like the host, I'm gonna do a video about Starbucks, because there's a whole news story. I got some insider footage from what's his name, Howard Schultz, the CEO. Oh yeah, I got some inside footage. I got all of that. So that video, look forward to that tomorrow, because that will be dropping. 714, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Well, did I get through?
You are on the line.
Oh, okay, perfect. Hey, well, sure you've heard this 100 times. Fan of your channel. Just keep it really quick here. I'm just a young guy here, custodian in California. Just want to say that there is Mexican conservatives out there, and there is young people willing to fight for this country still out there. Just want to give hope to those people out there. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope in God. If it comes down to it, I'll fight for this country. If it ever comes down to that, and I just want to say I love you guys, and just thank you for all that you do, ABL.
Thank you for your call. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the callers. Shout out to the calls. People just want to be nice and give you some flowers. I like that. It is all good. It is all to the good. All right. So I'm reading some of the comments here. Yeah, the whole Uvalde thing, I mean, it's a complicated issue. Like, right when I saw the Uvalde happen, I knew there were some issues with the police response. I really want to speak on it because I already know that it's hard to be kind of a Monday morning quarterback without all the information. I don't really want to do that. You understand? I don't really want to do that. that's kind of just where I'm at. But let me get to read some of the comments here. Yeah, I mean, you could do things. Your family, you want to speak to your family if you can. You want to have that connection to your family, but it's not necessary. Not 100%. But you do want to have that connection if you can. You don't just want to abandon them. But if you can't do much with them, if they are a negative influence, and you gotta do what you gotta do. You get at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for yourself. And if you got family, you got children, wife, or whatever, you gotta do what's right for them as well. You know, it's only about you at that point. If you have a family, like your family, once you get to be an adult, is more about your immediate family. You know, that's why they say immediate family, extended family. I'm talking about your wife, your husband, your kids. That's your family right there. That is your responsibility. Now, if you got little man in them, little Josefa, little Dexter, Grayson, I'm using all the stereotypical racial names. Lil Win. If you got all these people that are your extended family and you feel some kind of obligation, I don't think that's appropriate to have that kind of obligation to the extended family. I think it's more appropriate to have an obligation to your immediate family. That's what you got to focus on first. You know, that's your first priority. Okay, the extended family, your cousins and whatnot. Okay, man. If you like them, that's cool. But if not, that's cool too. All right. Let me see. But yeah, now as far as my brother Brandon Tatum, you know what I'm saying, some of you guys don't like his stance on it. That's his stance. He has right to have his stance. I've not even really seen the stance. I just know that people disagree with it. And that's your opinion. People disagree with me sometimes. Like when I do the anti-drug videos, I always get disagreed on that too. So, I mean, I think people sometimes online, they take disagreements to like a nuclear level. It's like, if I disagree with you, now I hate you. It's like, why is it got to be all that? I can disagree with you on a particular thing and still like you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying I disagree with him on that because I've not even seen his most recent video or anything. I'm just talking about in general. You can disagree with somebody and still like them. You can have a difference of opinion and not hate them. 718, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Callie in Brooklyn. Hi, I just get a little brief because I have to get ready for bed soon. I just want to say, I enjoy your show, but I wanted to ask, I didn't get to see the video about San Francisco, but I imagine it's pretty awful enough. Do you see Portland heading into? Which is worse, San Francisco or Portland? Have you had any callers from Portland? Do they make comparisons?
I don't think I have any Portland callers. I don't believe so.
Oh, yeah. I'm from the West Coast originally, and I haven't been back in a long time. But I say it bodes ill. Do you think there's just a sliver of a chance they might leave the Democrat Party? Even what's happening at Starbucks, I just kind of wondered do you think what would it take to get these people to wake up? I was just looking at the media. They said that Starbucks closed for safety concerns. They didn't want to say outright there were problems with gangs or homelessness. So I don't know if there's still a certain measure of denial. Or, do you think they're going to come out openly, admit that they goofed? I don't know. I'm just watching these cities in the left coast. And I'm just, I don't know what you for. If you have a crystal ball or anything, you can foresee what's in store.
I think that Portland is a little bit too far gone to change and become conservative. I think it's not going to happen. They're what they're going to do with over there is, as far as local government, like let's say for example Portland as a mayor, they'll pick between an Antifa member for mayor or a regular normie leftist. That's their choice. It won't be regular normie leftists and a Republican. It would be super, super far left versus regular left, but not anywhere near on the right.
No. I mean, I went to Portland when I was a kid. It was a beautiful city then, but I don't know. I mean, would anybody normal want to just sit down? I don't know. It's just the whole thing seems like the Twilight Zone. But I don't know how much it's exaggerated. I mean, maybe there are people who go about their daily lives. I mean, I live in New York City and I've watched it decline. I don't know if it's totally because of COVID or anything. But I agree. It must be this. I guess it must be the same there. I mean, I don't know if not worse. Oh, now I'm getting an echo on my phone. Okay. Anyway, I enjoy your show. As I said, I'm gonna, but I just always appreciate your insights, and usually you're pretty spot on. Yeah. Oh, okay. I've got to, hopefully I'll catch some of your Saturday show. Okay.
Right on.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
All righty. Shout out to. All right, James, what's happening?
Hey, man. Hang on. I got to cut you off on the other. I got you live. Hey, my man. I heard you say something earlier about people disagreeing with you. You can get along with them.
Yeah.
Sounds like a mature adult to me.
I try to be, try to do my best to act my age. That's all.
I'm surprised these days, the number of people that I think they place their self-identity in their ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it's like people can't change their mind. I disagree with you means I can't stand you, I hate you. And that's not what that means at all. Which brings me to the lawyer or the professor of law. I think she's too ingrained in her own ideas of what right and wrong is, and she's putting that kind of thought process into kids. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that she probably has been brainwashed the same way she's brainwashing others.
Yeah.
Part of the education system, K through 12, college.
Yeah.
And then now she's passing it along. It's a cycle.
Yeah, that eye roll that you were pointing out, which was amusing, to say the least, when she was trying to school Hartley. That does tell a lot, doesn't it?
It tells a whole lot. It's like, I'm not even really hearing what you got to say. I don't care. I have my point of view, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering what if she's able to see the irony in teaching people what to think instead of how to think.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably not, because she thinks that she's righteous in her indignation and her indoctrination. So it doesn't even matter. It's like, well, I'm doing right, so I don't care if I'm brainwashing somebody or convincing them. It's the right thing to do.
I mean, the thing is, though, everybody to some extent thinks they're right. Otherwise, you'd think something else. But the inability to self-assess seems to be a core value that a teacher should have. I don't know how she got her job, unless she got it like Judge Brown did on, I guess, a diversity hire. I don't know. I mean, does that sound bad to say that? I don't know.
No, I mean, it's a lot of that going on over there. That's just kind of their culture. They feel like it's all right. They feel like that's the correct thing to do, is to behave that way. But in reality, life is different than that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think people would look at the results of their actions. They're like, well, we intend well, yeah, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So you'd think people would start looking at the results of their actions, and I don't know. It makes me wonder if people are capable of that kind of logical thought processes these days. I don't know. I think we've talked about this before. Plato said, it was the Republic, he's like, if you want to take over a country, if you want to attack a country, don't go to war against it because you will, cost lives. But instead, change the music of their youth. And, that could be music or entertainment, whatever. But what you're doing is you're brainwashing the children. So within a generation, they're yours. And I think that's the kind of plan right now. Back in the 60s, these liberal Marxists had this idea of how to take over the United States, and this was back in a university study. And so they decided, how should we go about it? Well, we'll put players, people with the same social psychology, into universities, newspapers, TV, all across the board, so that we can normalize it and make people think that this is correct, and that when they see it out there, that if you don't argue for it, then you're a crazy person, right? And so everybody wants to. Matter of fact, I have this really good article on you know how people virtue signal?
Yeah.
And it's this nutty article on it's a donbu. How do you say donbu? A scientific study, a research paper on the mental capacity of people who virtue signal. Absolutely fascinating. Maybe I'll send a link to it. I don't think I can send a link in the chat, can I? No,
you can't send links in the chat. Email only.
Yeah, I'll see if I can't email it to you. But it's fascinating talking about the low mental capacity of people who virtue signal. I don't know. I can't tell if people who are doing this on purpose or if this is part of their plan. They're one or the other. I don't know.
Right.
I'll let you get back to it. Enjoying your thoughts today. It's good stuff, man.
Thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself.
Same to you.
See you.
Shout out to my man, James in Japan. I got time for one more call. 541, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Jeffrey from Southern Oregon, ABL. I just wanted to comment on the Portland call. Is that you're 100% correct, because since I've been here since 93, when we vote down here in Southern Oregon, it's almost like, for governor or whatever, it just doesn't count because the liberals are just going to kill us up in Portland. They'll just do anything.
Right.
And that's a sad thing, you know what I mean? Because you just know it's going to happen, and it has, right? Ever since Kitzbaumer, I don't know what happened. He was a Republican governor. He got kicked out, and then that's when Brown came in, and then she got reelected and stuff. So, yeah, it's down here. It's kind of a sad situation when you know you're voting, and you know your vote really is going to count. So I just think what you always say is do the local elections and do the best you can there, because if it's the other way, Portland's gone, man.
Yeah, it's too far gone, and it's constantly being refilled with new people that are also far gone from other parts of the country, other parts of the world even, and they're going to vote the same way. So that becomes the issue.
For sure, 100%. And I appreciate that the insight on that and that caller too. And anyway, thank you for my call. I don't really have much more. You really had some good topics tonight, and as usual. And you have a good night. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to him. I think that might be a wrap for me. Yeah, that'll be a wrap. I'm at the end of my show. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate y'all. If you can't get on tonight, I'm sorry. You got to blame the white man for that. It's not my fault. But I'll be back here live again on Saturday night. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time. This is a podcast. We're recording live. This will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. I got super chats on deck, and then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Shout out to the mods for keeping the chat nice and in order. I appreciate y'all for that. Couldn't do it without you. But let me go ahead and get to the supers here. Thank you to the anti-view who says, can't stay, hit the like button, everyone. Also, ABL the best on the internets with the thumbs up emojis. That could define a Faye who says a great PSA to show kids the effects of drugs is a new Wendy Williams interview with TMZ. It just came out. Wait a minute. Okay, I gotta see that because I'm a Wendy Williams fan. I really am.
So,
and they got her on like psych meds. I'm not sure if she's like on big pharma drugs or street drugs. And in my humble opinion, big pharma drugs are worse than the street drugs. Big pharma drugs aren't street drugs because fentanyl is big pharma. Percocet, Xanax, all big pharma. But I digress. I'm getting Oxycontin, all big pharma. Most of the drugs that people they use and they OD on are big pharma, produced illegally and sold illegally. So these drugs are legal, but somehow these are the main ones killing everybody. Fentanyl is a legal drug. Legalized drugs. Fentanyl is legal. You can get fentanyl from a doctor. It's big pharma. It's regulated, but it's legal. Legalize all drugs. I'm getting triggered thinking about it. But anyway, take it to the anti-view says, FYI, if Trump went to the island, we would have known who was on that list. Just saying. Yes, exactly. We would have been known that. Correct. The anti-view also says fentanyl is heroin. Heroin is fentanyl. Codeine is heroin. Narco is heroin. They all come from the same place. Correct. Buff versus Windshield says, so 18 months in prison with no lawyer for January 6 people. Meanwhile, in Russia, Brittany has had her trial done in under 6 months. It's warriors. That's right. And she's a whole foreign national over there getting their trial done in 6 months. But meanwhile, you got people over here, American citizens, no trial, for over a year. Buff versus Windshield also says, so Warren says pregnancy centers are misleading. Also says, dang it, misclicked. Warren says pregnancy centers, I think that was a misspelling in the first one, are misleading and won't perform abortions, but isn't Planned Parenthood misleading with the goal for no one to be a parent? Exactly. But first, the Windshield also says the New World Report ranks New York City as second most dirty city in the world, just behind Athens, Greece. Ew. I didn't know Athens is dirty like that. That's interesting. I wonder why. Also, Buffers Windshield says here in Portland, it's Antifa mayor versus Uber liberal mayor. Exactly. They've taken the D and R off the ballot, so it's harder to vote out Democrats. And thank you to Abby Matthews for the cheerleading emoji. Appreciate you for that. But that'll be a wrap for me. So thank y'all again for being here. I'll be back live again on Saturday. And I'm here live all throughout the week. And thank you to Stu Bird for the final donation. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.